Everybody, welcome to Dollar Beer Night, the show where anything can happen and probably will. Talking about the internet this week, guys. Let's go. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 5 of Dollar Beer Night, or season 2, episode 1 if you want to be really dumb. We're not going to do that. I know we joked about it, but yeah, we're all talking about proto-internet today. So early internet days before Web 2.0 and our current internet. We all kind of grew up at different times, so I think it'd be a fun thing to do. So real quick, let's talk about our social media stuff. At Dollar Beer Pod on Twitter, Dollar Beer Night on Insta. If you have any emails with comments, questions, concerns, want to talk about how I apparently don't like chocolate. I hate it. Hit us up at dollarbeernightshow@gmail.com. Also go to dollarbeernight.com. It'll link you into our feed. We're available anywhere you get your podcasts now. So yeah, guys, we're trying to be more active on those things. I've been on the Insta posting stories to nobody. So if you saw it, please.
That's not true. We got a reply from someone
That's true.
She was like, I love you, Dollar Beer Pod.
Right.
Follow me at JimPix49.
That was a typing blow-up doll.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But yeah, guys, also, you may have noticed the intro music was a little different this week if you are an eagle-eared listener. That intro was by a guy I know named Mitch Okren. I worked with Mitch a long time ago. He's a cool dude, man. He does a lot of cool stuff. He went last year, went to Africa for like a clean water project. He does a lot of cool stuff, and he inspired me when he was a young kid to kind of like do better. And because he's just one of those guys, when you're around him, he does cool shit. And so I wanted to kind of blow him up a little bit on our platform. The song was named Houston Cypher from his first album that I released on Spotify called This Time Next Year. He also just released not too long ago an instrumental and a song with Crooner, who's also another Cincinnati artist. So the album is called Part of Life and Just Can't Say. Those are the two names of the songs. Check him out, guys. He's dope. He's a cool dude, and he makes dope shit. So he's also looking to maybe have a full album again drop this summer. So yeah, Mitch Okren, love you, dude. Thanks for letting us use your song.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Keep doing big things. So without further ado, let's get to the podcast crew. That was a nice little ditty there.
I like that.
Poet, and you didn't know it.
I'll go straight across the table from me. Tommy Becerra, what you up to, bud?
What's up? I'm drinking a KBS flavored stout. Shout out to Matt Miller.
KBS flavored stout? What is that?
It's a KBA flavored stout.
Oh. I was
It's
like,
not
what
flavored.
is the flavor KBS?
Kittens boobs. Yeah. Kittens boobs.
Kittens boobs?
Kittens
Silly
and booty
string.
sweat, I think is where you were going with
Kittens and
that.
booty sweat. That's what it tastes like. It's a chocolate coffee ale.
It's delicious. Yeah, I've had it. It's Founders
really
beer. Founders makes good shit. So
For sure.
Yeah, I'm Tommy. You can follow me on all social medias, Average Torso, probably. I don't know. I don't really get on them. I get on them, but I don't get on them.
yeah, you're not super active, but that's okay.
I'm already getting carbonation. Shit. I aced my first crime scene exam today, A+.
Congrats.
Yeah. And yeah, that's about it.
Cool, man. Dill? Hey, bud.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Dill Hyden.
Hey, so I don't know if you were going to ask what I've been doing, but
What have you been specifically up to, Dill
I
Hyden?
have been driving myself crazy. Had some days off last week, had some days off this week. So yesterday,
We had a date.
Tommy and I had a date. What was
Did.
that, Monday?
It was cute.
Yeah, it was Monday.
It was a bro date, and everyone knew about it because we sent a ton of Snapchats.
It was the best.
Motherfuckers. Flaunting.
Yeah.
Flaunting their free time.
Yeah.
Rubbing
Yeah.
it in our faces.
On my first 10-hour day.
It was the best
Dylan
day of
has
my
the
life.
audacity to text me, hey, man, you working? Yeah, of course I'm
Well,
working.
maybe I thought you could you could sneak away for a lunch.
Maybe you could lock the door and put the poop sign up. I don't know.
You
It's
were
true.
like a mile away from where we were at the buffet.
Really? Oh, yeah, I know.
We
where
went to
I
a
know
Chinese
where it's at.
buffet, and then we did some antique shopping.
It was a good
And behind Tommy is a Mike Cameron bobblehead.
It is awesome.
We'll take a
where
picture of that.
He's in a Mariners uniform, which I don't know how many people know that, but he was traded for King Griffey, so having him in the Mariners uniform is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Just kind of commemorates that place in time because I loved Mike Cameron, but I was sad to see him go. But to have Ken Griffey come into town was huge for the whole city of Cincinnati. So kind of just captured a place in time. And go check out your antique malls. The Ohio Valley Antique Mall in Fairfield was amazing.
Shout out to all those 90-year-old women that are in our audience.
Yeah, I was going to say,
actually,
antique shopping and Chinese buffets. We're now officially sponsored by the HGTV.
We took our hypertension medication before we went in just to not risk it. I didn't want to risk a stroke while we were in there. Actually, my grandma turned me on to them, and me and Emily go like once every 2 weeks or something like that. But I saw my grandma there like a few weeks ago.
That's good.
It was like I just heard her coming down the aisle.
Like neither of you knew that you were at the antique mall, and you just wound up bouncing into each other.
Hi,
you knew her specific shuffling. So
well, I heard my grandpa go, "Hey, hey." That's all he does.
Dill baby.
I've been doing some cool stuff this week because I get cabin fever like everyone else, and I went to Buffalo Trace yesterday, their distillery, and I got like a big tour and stuff. It was all free. The tasting was free. The tour was free. It was very enlightening, very cool. And
where's Buffalo Trace from here?
It's in Frankfort, Kentucky. It's about an hour and a half, hour 45. We left at 10 o'clock and we came back and I was in my driveway at 5 o'clock.
Nice.
So you can make a day out of it if you're in the Cincinnati area. But it was a lot of fun, and it was enlightening because you learn a lot about Pappy Van Winkle, Blanton's, Eagle Rare, all those bourbons that are hard to get. Bourbons that are hard to get your hands on, and then you also get like Buffalo Trace for $25.
Hell yeah.
So if you're a bourbon connoisseur, you don't get to buy as much as you would hope unless you go on Thursdays. You can get Blanton's, and you also have to be willing to spend $100. So sorry I spent so much talking about myself, Kev, but there you go. There's my life.
I love it. No, I'm really, and I'm glad that you prompted me to ask you what you were doing.
Yeah,
I could tell you were chomping at the bit. So
yeah,
I'm going to be honest with you. Bourbon is I think more on our wheelhouse than antiquing.
Yeah.
As much as I love antiquing, I think we could talk about bourbon for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, even though we got one that's not as into it.
He'll learn to love it.
I won't, but that's okay.
Well, he can learn to appreciate the history. We could take him
Sure,
on a tour.
I appreciate history of it.
If we get Kev drinking enough bourbon and deaths, we can get Kevin to do the voices from Aladdin again, which was awesome.
I'll do them now.
You liked Bullet, right?
It was fine. Yeah, I didn't hate
Bullet
it.
Rye.
Here's the thing: like with liquor, it's not something I could ever see myself sitting down and like just enjoying. Like there's some that are smoother and some that taste better. It's just not.
It's not your preferred choice.
Yeah, it's like a sloppy turd versus a turd that slides out nice.
No way, dude.
They're both turds, but one is just a little bit nicer than the other.
They're different experiences. I get it. It.
Drinking scotch is like drinking a fireplace, sitting on a polar bear rug.
Sounds terrible,
with a
dude.
Sexy lady by your side. That's what drinking whiskey feels
I'm there.
like. And
I'm
looks
right.
like.
I'm right there. I'm in the place. I can see it.
That was a good visual.
To my immediate right, Zachary Rotello. What's up, bud?
What up? At Zach Rotello on social media across the spectrum there. Not much is up. Kevin, thank you for introducing us and hosting this week, being the host. Sure. This is the first time we've had a repeat host, the rotation. This is a big deal.
Hence the season 2.
Yeah, exactly. Season 2, episode 1, as it's going to be known for never.
We are on hour 10 plus of being together today. Yeah. So hopefully we don't just end up staring at each other.
No, I think it's helping. I'm a little loopy. I had Amazon Alexa send me a free sampler pack of Coke Energy. It came in like this really premier. The presentation alone, she shipped it. I was like, "Hey Alexa, order me a sample of Coke Energy," and she was like, "Okay." And then she shipped it to me, and I forgot about it. And 2 weeks later, bada bing, bada boom, this effing packaging shows up at my door, and it was like this really nice premium like cardboard display with these Coke bottles in there. I didn't.
It looks
hate
like
it.
something you'd see at a trade show.
Yeah. It looked like a free swag giveaway if I was like a Coke sponsor. Or something.
Right.
But I didn't hate it. But the main thing I wanted to say from that is I've got Coke Energy in my body, and I've also got a Great Lakes Christmas Ale. So I'm swimming in at a 12-hour workday.
Yep.
So here I am. I'm ready to get effing loopy. Censor myself and shit. But the big thing is Kevin, I just got back from a wedding in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Yep.
Bless up to the great state of Louisiana. My first time being there. Also, my first time trying a fantastic Southern establishment called Whataburger.
Oh yeah.
So good.
Yes. You've had it, Tommy.
Yeah.
Okay. You've not had it, and you've not had it.
I've had it. I've had it at I've had it in an airport, so it was subpar. But I wasn't impressed with the airport Whataburger. But I'd like to go to an actual location and
It's
try it.
I know the show might not know him, but it's one of Captain Bob's favorite burger establishments.
Oh yeah.
My grandpa.
Well, I was blown away. Really,
so good,
like I mean, it's very old fashioned. It's a lot like an In-N-Out, like so. It's no frills. Like they haven't changed the bench seating in there since 1992. And I walked right into this place. There's nobody in there. I mean, there's like this old guy having a cup of coffee and a cheeseburger. Classic fast food establishment, right? I got the patty melt. Delicious, 10 out of 10. Great fast food pick, and also for only like $4 or whatever, solid. Their fries, excellent. They're like McDonald's fries, but crispy, like super crispy. You know how McDonald's fries you can get a crispy one, but these ones were like crispy every bite. It was great. But the highlight, spicy ketchup. And I brought a bunch of packets home for you guys to try. The next episode, because I didn't do it this week, but next episode, I have them. I'll bring them. I'll get us a side of. I'll get it like a fry thing, and we'll do like a little, a spicy ketchup sample in here because it blew my mind. Did you have the spicy ketchup when you went?
It's so good.
It blew my mind.
But I haven't had it in a while. So it'll be
spicy. How? Like
so? It's almost like it's very subtle. It's not like.
It's like a black pepper spice.
It's
almost.
not like a habanero.
No. It's like it's mild spice. But it's got such a nice kick with like the salty fries. Oh, it took my breath away. I felt like I felt like what's her name, Rose from Titanic on the front of the ship. Except a burger was holding me.
Like Marshall Erickson describing his perfect burger.
Yes,
and you got our vows off the internet.
Yeah, I still think that In-N-Out is the best burger that I've had. Like one of those kind of chain restaurants, but Whataburger given a serious run for money.
Yeah, guys, cool. I am Kevin Carter. I never introduced myself. Kevin Carter at KCarter79. So yeah, you guys all done? You got anything else you want to talk about tonight?
Kev, what have you been up to?
Nothing, man. Working a lot. I actually did. Last repod, I was in the middle of my 9-day vacation, so I'm on the other side of that now. I'm back at work, hard at work. Or hardly working.
Classic joke. That's exactly the kind of joke they'd have on an episode of HGTV.
But yeah, guys, like I said earlier at the top, we are on episode 5. We're on the first rotation. And I wanted to do something a lot less structured than what I did in the first episode.
Can I pause you real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
Because I wasn't... I was ready for the banter round. Sure. I didn't want it to be a part of my introduction, but I was ready for the banter
Tommy,
round.
I know what this is, and it's going to be awesome.
So I pitched this idea to Kevin, and then I pitched it to Dylan, and I don't know if I pitched it to you yet, but I think it'd be cool if we got like a shelf or something, and we collected something from each, like represented like each episode. So like when we did the music episode, we'd display the album, or like when we did my episode, like maybe a Pokemon card or something like that. So I've started the collection. I got something for the Aladdin episode. It's in my pocket right here. Da-da-da-da.
Look at that thing.
Will Smith genie.
Can't see it. Here, pass it.
It's for obviously you guys can't see, but it's like it's a fever dream Will Smith genie. It's me and Tommy were crying, laughing, looking at genie toys the other day.
I had to get the worst one.
Yeah, we found the worst one. It's incredible.
I thought it was Barbie size when I ordered it. When I got that sad piece of shit, I was like, what the fuck? Why is it so small?
I'm so happy that it's disappointing because it needs to be disappointing.
Are we allowed to talk about how much it was?
It was $9.
Really?
Amazon Prime.
So we could have spent... We almost spent...
Is $9 too much?
$9 is how much I spent on Chipotle, and yeah.
Come on, dude. That's a cool toy.
No. The toy itself, not cool.
Garbage.
The memory that it represents.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Priceless.
So actually, not to toot our own horn, but when Tommy and I were doing what old people do, as someone else on this podcast might have mentioned, there's only 2 people on this podcast now.
There's only one side of the table in this podcast.
It's so gross.
So we have 2 different podcasts.
So there was actually like a commemorative like Disney cup, and there was Pocahontas, there was Little Mermaid, and Aladdin was in it. It was like $12 or $20.
$25, I think, for the whole set. Yeah.
12 or 20. 12
But
or 20
it was
is a
5
strange
cups,
range.
so you got 5.
Oh, okay, I got you.
It was like $5 a cup.
I got you.
But you had to buy the whole thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would have. But I guess you settled on
Well,
Will
the
Smith,
the cup was too cool. This has to be.
It has, yeah.
You
For
want it
what
to
that
be
episode
shitty.
was,
for the
it needed
meme.
to be, yeah.
For the meme, you know.
For the meme.
Okay.
Do it for the gram.
Do it for the memes.
Bitches love
And
it.
we'll post this. We'll post a picture of it up.
I'm making
Insta tomorrow.
a list, yeah. So we're gonna do like a visual slide for you guys. So every episode will have a little visual slide at the end. I think it'll be cool.
Yeah, I think so.
Good idea. And thank you guys for listening last week, by the way, and all the weeks. We've been having great feedback. And I mean, we've heard feedback from friends and family or whatever. But like, if you guys, again, like Kevin said, shout us out, ask us questions on the email, dollarbeernightshow@gmail.com. If you have any like suggestions for the show, if you think we're doing something good or bad, we want to hear all the feedback possible. Like anything you have to say will make us better. And it was fun last week and every week so far, and so I'm excited to get into this.
Yeah, I mean, me doing those stories and things on Instagram, even though almost nobody saw them, was a direct feedback from, again, shout out Mason Miller.
Yeah, shout out.
Mason.
Thanks for you for listening, and thank you for feeling comfortable enough to give us feedback because we need it. We're new. We're still like Zach's been doing this for a while. Dylan's been doing it for a while, but two of us are still pretty new at this. So. And we're still trying to work on, how we want everything to flow and work, and we want it to be a complete ecosystem for a dollar beer night, and not just a podcast. We want to have a whole interactive element as well. So, yeah. What else? Anybody got anything else to talk about? Sonic is the number 1 movie for 2 weeks in a row.
And
Crazy.
we're still seeing it, we promise.
Yeah.
We'll talk business meeting after the show.
I'm off till forever, so
Dope.
Sweet. You got
Sweet.
fired this week?
yeah, I did.
Yeah, dude. Fired on his day off.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, guys. So, like I said at the top, we want to talk I specifically want to talk about the proto internet, and what I mean again, what I mean by that is very early, mid to late '90s, early 2000s internet, because it is vastly different. If you didn't grow up in this time, if you're some little jerk that was born in 1999. Buckle up, because this is going to be an interesting thing. You're probably not going to know a lot of things we're talking about. These are all very specific memories. But I think what this time did was really shape a lot of the humor of our generation. Like millennials have a very specific type of humor. It's very kind of cringe humor and awkwardness and weird timing with jokes. And a lot of this came from just how weird and wild the early internet was. So
you 99 kids, if you like memes, this is where it
came from. And you little fucks,
Yeah.
you little pieces of shit.
Jesus, we're insulting so many people. Some kid born in 2001's like on YouTube, and he's like, "Oh, this looks like a
I
fun
love the
history
dollar beer
lesson."
night.
Oh, I love you guys. We've got people.
If you can't drink beer yet, skip this episode.
There's people that work for us that are that age, and I think they're some of the coolest people I've
Okay,
ever met.
come
So,
back in.
Shout out to
You're
Donovan.
good.
Yeah,
It's safe now.
yeah, Donovan. Thanks for listening, bud.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
We love you, man.
But yeah, I really wanted to just kind of have a loose conversation. I'm going to probably start it off with a couple of my earliest memories, and then just kind of open it up and we'll talk about it freely. I want to talk about our younger days with the internet, what we liked that kind of inspired who we are today, and then just how it's changed for the current time, and how much different it really is, and how much different the internet feels, because it's completely different. So, yeah, man. So just to start off, for me, when I think about my early internet days, there's 3 things that really come to mind. And so it's Yahoo chat rooms. I was in those things all the fucking time, talking to people I shouldn't have been talking to, doing things I shouldn't have been doing. And it was a blast. It was Wild West, man. You didn't know who anybody was. I was in there making up personas. I had like 17 different screen names.
Were you a catfish?
No, I wasn't a catfish. So, like, again, you guys, if you've listened to us on Queen City podcast,
Jesus, it ain't been that long. We just
to us,
released our last
Get out of the
episode
Diesel
last
Dome.
week.
listen to us on Queen City podcast, and then on this podcast as well. You may have gathered that I'm a bit of an anime fan. So back then, it was really popular to make your favorite character and then role play that character in the chat room. So I did a lot of that shit, some just real nerdy shit, man. It's really nerdy. I role played Vegeta. Vegeta was my dude from Dragon Ball Z. That was the character I role played. So, again, just doing just weird shit. Another thing that comes to mind is newgrounds.com, which was, if you know anything about Flash animation, there's a lot of animators and a lot of comedy writers that are still working in the industry today that got their start on newgrounds.com. It was like a YouTube for animation where anybody could go on there, create anything they wanted. It wasn't age restricted. You could do the craziest shit. I mean, there was 18 plus stuff, but you could get to it. And it was awesome because it was unfiltered creativity. And it was, there's just so many, there's a video on there named called Forehead Shave Cut. And me and my brother are maybe the only two people that reference it, but the jokes in that inform my comedy and what I think is funny and how I think jokes should be funny and how they're told. Like Eskimo Bob was another thing that was on there. It was just this weird story about an Eskimo named Bob, and it was just super quiet, and the vocals were blown out. It was just poor quality, but it was so funny. So, and then the last thing for me, the last website that really sticks out to me, you guys know we're gamers here for the most part, cheatcc.com. It was Cheat Code Central.
Oh yeah.
It was a amalgamation of every cheat code you could possibly ask for. I wasted so much of my parents' ink and paper on cheatcodecentral.com. Pages and pages of Grand Theft Auto, Twisted Metal 2, Jet Moto, all these codes just printed out and everywhere. So to me, that's not what the internet is now. The internet is Wikipedia, Twitter, Reddit. That's what it is now. It wasn't like all these different places for different things. There weren't apps. You had to know the URLs and where they were. So, I mean, there was other stuff, but and I'll get more deep into it. But that to me, those are the things that really shaped my early internet days.
It kind of seemed like the internet moved slower back then. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Twitter is like, and Reddit is if you're not on top of it, then you're lost.
Yeah.
I'll come back to Twitter after a couple months off, and it's like,
what the hell's going on?
I have no idea what's going on.
What's this TikTok thing that everyone's talking about?
But even back then, even looking at cheat codes and certain things, if you didn't come back to your computer for a week because you were grounded, you came back and you felt informed still.
Yeah.
It's because HTML was hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. HTML was hard.
Yeah.
And it led to some really cool and interesting things because people were fucking around. They didn't know what to do and what looked good and what people wanted to see. So there was geocities.com, which was this weird place where people could just literally it was like an early social media, but it's like you would build this page, you would put up these dumb little GIFs, the under construction banners that would spin. I know, Tommy, you have hamsterdance.com on yours,
yes,
and that's one of those it's a quintessential, it's still running. Go to hamsterdance.com, it's still running.
Totally still running.
And it's that site perfectly sums up what the early internet was.
Yeah.
So.
It was just weird, websites that had a song that played on loop, and then a bunch of weird GIFs.
Just
and it's crazy
GIFs.
that GIFs were around back then.
Yeah.
And they weren't like what we know them as now. It's like we clip things from TV shows.
So
this was like creators.
Yeah, think about when you get on Giphy and you search for something and you scroll for 10 minutes and you get to those really weird ones that are like glitter words. Mm-hmm. That's what early GIFs are.
Dancing Baby.
Yeah, Dancing Baby.
He was a good one.
So yeah, guys. So what are some of your early experiences? Zach, I know you and I have a pretty similar one. So there's one website I know.
Oh yeah, for sure. So a general theme of this episode for me is going to be parental restriction. I want you guys to remember these words as we go forward on tonight's episode because, not only was I super big into the Jesus back when I was a kid, I was also, my dad especially was pretty eagle-eye watchtower over what I consumed and what our internet was. And I remember, if we're going to talk about the early days, the first memories of using a computer, are we going to get to that at some point?
Yeah, sure.
Do you want to get to it now?
Yeah, let's get to it.
All right. So my first memory of ever owning a computer was my memory foggy. Tried to place it as together as I possibly could. I still lived at my first house, so I was probably in pre-first grade for me, somewhere around there. I remember one day my dad brought home this big box and set it on the thing and on the counter, lugged it upstairs, and we opened it up, and it was this thing that I didn't really understand what it was. But I remember that they gave me, with it, when we opened the thing up and we got everything assembled, that there was a little floppy disk with, it was either I can't. It definitely wasn't Myst, but it was a game like Myst for like babies. So it was like I Spy or something, but you'd be like plugged it in, and then you would play the game on the thing. And I remember thinking that was like super super cool. But yeah, I didn't have like Newgrounds. I'd have to watch that at friends' house, so I only caught Newgrounds in like tiny little snippets.
Yeah.
But yeah, Homestar Runner is the one that you're talking about, right? That's Flash.
Homestar 1.0, yeah. Which is in danger because starting in December 2020, nothing on the internet will support Flash anymore. So they're trying to switch everything over to HTML5, which still has the interactivity and all that.
Right. Yeah. Homestar Runner, I mean, it's one of those hard... again, like you were talking about shaping your humor, Homestar Runner was one of those things where I had heard of it from a friend at Boy Scouts. And they were like, someone made some joke, and everyone laughed, and it was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, oh, it's Homestar Runner. I was like, what is Homestar Runner? He's like, oh, you don't know what it is? Like, go home and like look it up online. And it was one of those things, right? Again, parental, whatever. What did I say? Parental censorship or something like that?
Sure.
Right. I had to go home and like I had to okay it with. I was like, Mom, can I go on to homestarrunner.com? And she's like, what is it? And I was like, I don't know. She's like, okay, ask your father. And I was like, okay, Dad, can I go to homestarrunner.com? He's like, okay, what is it? And I was like, I don't really know. He's like, okay, well, we'll go on it together. And like we loaded up the Homestar Runner, and it looks like a cartoon. It looks like a kid's cartoon.
Yeah.
And so he was like, okay, I guess this is acceptable. No one's saying hell or damn in the first 4 seconds, so he walked away. And then what unfolded was a treasure trove of just comedy videos.
Yeah.
Animated Flash comedy videos. Like it's a variety show, and
it is.
It's a
very interesting and funny characters. The minds of the brothers Chaps. They're both writing for comedy shows now, so they've gone on and been successful, and they've brought their humor. I don't know exactly what shows they're working, but they're working on shows that I still like. And over that I looked at a little bit of research for this, I was like, oh shit, they're doing shows that I like watching. So so. If you haven't watched Homestar, it's great. It's kind of weird to find a starting point for Homestar.
Yeah, it's hard to get into. I don't even know what thing like originally piqued my interest because it's one of those things where you open it up and it's everything.
Yeah, it's everything.
Tunes, games, cartoons, this whole thing, a store, podcast, like it's all like it's everywhere. It's this whole thing. It's a mess. It's a conglomeration. They expect you to kind of like be in on a lot of the jokes because they call back to things from like years ago, things that like when I first started watching Homestar, I didn't know half the references, and then you eventually end up going back and then finding all this stuff that was like,
which is hilarious. I think part of the fun. It's like again, the early internet didn't explain shit to you. It's like go find something. There wasn't like search engines really didn't exist. I mean, the earliest one I can remember was Ask Jeeves.
I saved a photo of Ask Jeeves to my phone because I was looking at like early internet nostalgia things and Ask Jeeves, which eventually just evolved into Ask, Ask.com. But man, I thought Ask Jeeves was the
dressed
coolest
like
thing.
a butler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, dude. And that Ask Jeeves wasn't around until I was in high school. So that we're talking early 2000s. So there was half a decade where you just couldn't find shit. You just had to kind of know what a website was.
It was like all word of mouth.
Yeah, it was
Your
word of
friends
mouth.
would be like, dude, have you seen this new website? It was like people would put them in emails and
yes. Chain emails were a huge thing back then.
It was like, dude, check out this fucking website. It's hilarious.
Yeah, and there was portal sites. So like, E-Bombs World, What Would Tyler Durden Do?
Sorry, I also saved a photo of Altoids Mango Sours because for whatever reason that brought me back to like kindergarten.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, for anybody that wants to get into Homestar Runner, and I highly suggest you do because it's so funny. The way the Homestar Runner's style of comedy is a clinic in pacing and timing and comedic timing, and the way Strong Bad specifically talks, where he and he does it in such a perfect way. It's subtle and it's just so good. But if you're looking for a starting point, I would just start with the Strong Bad emails because a lot of the inside jokes come from those.
Is that where he's got like the shrimp fingers?
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's got the shrimp fingers.
Shrimp fingers. I would suggest Bug in the Mouth Disease. It's a tune. It's like a 6-minute long tune. And you get the idea of what their comedy style is, but it's in like a short. It's like a skit.
Yeah,
and that had to be one of the first ones I ever watched, and so yeah, that's a good one too.
The Interview too is another short tune where it's Homestar or Strong Bad, who's one of the main characters of this website. He's like the main antagonist to
Right.
Homestar's antagonist, or whatever. They have a foil relationship,
Sure.
and so it's strong bad interviewing Homestar, and you get a really good sense of what the two characters are like, and they're the two main people you see on the website, and it's just this whole organic ecosystem of it's basically you're watching you're in this neighborhood that exists with all these fucking weird characters. So definitely an awesome, and it's still running, guys. They have a YouTube channel, but it's not as fun because since it was Flash, there was things that, like, while he's reading his emails, you could click on certain words and it would pop up stuff, or it would play a separate clip, and it's a lot of fun to kind of to explore and look around in. So, yeah. So, outside of Homestar, was there anything else like you kind of snuck around with, or?
I feel like my answers are going to be very uninteresting for this first
Really?
portion. It's like, yeah, a lot of the parental stuff that, like I said, it was like my internet time was calculated, cold, and specific. So it's like it doesn't exist anymore. But there was when we finally got a webcam, there was a website called I don't even want to say it out loud. I don't want to say it because I think I'm going to butcher it. But it was kind of like a MySpace Lite. It was super ghetto, and
Zanga?
Chat
roulette?
No.
The chat roulette's way down the line.
Yeah, way down the line. But I don't know. I don't remember what. I'll have to do a little bit of side research. But it was like there were websites like that where I would sneak onto. I stealth made a MySpace account, and then parents find out. My dad made me delete it.
Yeah, of course.
R.I.P. Because I wish I still had that MySpace because it was a treasure trove. But
MySpace probably would have deleted it anyway because that's what they do.
Yeah,
no, but I was born in like I was like 1980 or whatever. That's my age too.
Mine got deleted somehow.
Yeah, I think mine did too.
Last I checked, mine still exists because it's still.
Who bought that shit? Some Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, he fucking deleted all our
it's-
MySpace.
Yeah,
dude.
it's MySpace Music now.
Son of a bitch.
So I mean, that's what it was turning into.
Backstreet
Towards the
Boys
end,
was
was just
better.
a place for music to exist.
Yeah.
it was YouTube Music before like YouTube really had a music section. So it was a place for artists. It was like a proto SoundCloud, proto YouTube Music. So.
I don't know. Other than that, AIM. I mean, I'm sure we'll talk
AIM,
about
of course.
Instant Messenger, but yeah,
Oh,
that
I
was
can't
like
wait.
that was the thing too, because also it was like you had the text logs. So like my dad could read the text
Oh,
logs,
God.
Are
and
you
like,
serious?
yeah, dude, I'm telling you, I grew up pretty sheltered in a lot of respects.
Damn.
Like I had to sneak around to do a lot of the fun stuff, but it was like so the people that I was messaging, they knew who I was messaging, so they could like check up on stuff. But I remember thinking the Instant Messenger guy was so cool, and I would doodle him on like all my Trapper keepers. Like I had
It's cool, yeah.
Yeah, I had a Sonic the Hedgehog Trapper Keeper, and I remember having the AIM dude was like all over the inside of that motherfucker.
Trapper Keepers, man.
Yeah. And Badass Buddy. Do you guys remember?
Badass Buddy.
No, I don't remember Badass Buddy.
That was like the desktop
Yeah.
guy.
So so it still exists.
No way.
Yeah, it still exists. You can go to Badass Buddy. I don't remember if it's .com or whatever, but it was basically like a way that you could like hijack your icon to change the buddy, like the AIM buddy.
Sure.
And it was like all this wacky, like they had him dressed like Backstreet Boys, and it was all the Instant Messenger just like in different forms. So
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
But it was like TV shows and movies. Like, God, I think mine was set to like. It must have been sent to some. Yeah.
The ADHD. That's
Sure.
the first one that popped up.
Yeah.
Park.
Yeah, Linkin Park. It must have been something like that.
Yeah,
like it
yeah,
must
yeah.
have been some sort of like
The
early...
little dudes with the no face, and they're like,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Those were like the Instant Messenger guys, like the logo, and so like I thought those were just fun. They were easy
Jesus
to draw, so I would
Christ.
just draw them in all sorts of like weird ways.
I forgot all about that, dude.
Well, that's
wow.
that to me because I've done like, I went through and I was looking at all this shit and it was a lot of like, oh my god, kind of moments. Like I fucking forgot about this shit, and it's so weird to look back at how different shit was, and like there was such a certain aesthetic to things back then too. And that AIM Messenger guy is a perfect example of that. So he kind of fits in that clippy. The Microsoft Word guy, kind of horrible looking animations shit. So, Dill, what about you, man? What was your early internet life like?
much like Zach, I had a restricted internet usage. I really liked AIM. When Zanga came around, Zanga was
Popping.
I'm sorry to hijack. I saw that was on your notes. Zanga was it. Like that was like I can't remember internet before Zynga.
See, I don't have any experience with Zynga, so explain.
Really?
Yeah, explain. I know what it is. I know the logo of Zynga, but I never used it.
Me and
so.
Dylan nerded out about Zynga. During
Yeah,
was like-
explain this to
it's
me
like-
because some people my age might not know because I think it was a little after us.
yeah.
It was like MySpace before MySpace, and it was like you basically just tell everyone what you did that day.
Yeah, like
It was like a big live journal, but like you could put your own background. I remember I had a black and red Michael Jordan background, and like you say who you love that day, and people could like comment on it. And I don't know. I had 5 or 6 of them.
you could like when you made a blog, like when you made like a status or whatever, you could like literally put what song you were listening to, and you made that status, and then Dylan was saying, you could customize the background. Like if you knew HTML code, that's how I learned how to HTML code. That's how my wife learned how to HTML code and like got farther in her design careers. Like you would just sit there and be like, how can I move my music player up a little bit? Or how can I make it completely disappear? Yeah, it was like you could just do whatever the fuck you wanted to this blog site. It was really cool.
So yeah, you start finding all these websites, and you go to like Zynga profiles that like teach you how to code, or if you like sports backgrounds, you go to their page, or it was music, and it was a bunch of cool things. And yeah, I've seen a ton of things since then. That's like it taught like early 2000s taught me how to code, but
Yeah.
it's true. Like I was going in and like editing things, and like if I looked at it now, I would have no idea what I'm looking at.
Yeah, dude.
But
That was me for MySpace. MySpace taught me how to HTML code because they allowed you to do that later on. Because the last time I logged on, I would change my theme of my page every couple weeks or so. And I logged on. It was Dragon Force themed. Yeah. So it was when I first heard Through the Fire and Flames, and
God,
so
yes.
that is the video that plays when you come onto it. My background is Herman Lee playing his guitar. But I remember my favorite thing, because you could change the backgrounds, you could put shit whatever you wanted if you knew how to code. But there was website. I don't know what the website was, but it was like a HTML code for dummies. You could load up your HTML for your profile, and it would kind of walk you through like. It would let you do some coding, but not all coding. But you could see the language, and it started to make sense to you after a while.
Yeah.
But my favorite one, I set it as Transformers in 1986. And so my background was Unicron talking to old Megatron. It started up with the theme, like Unicron's theme. The
Yeah, dude.
And that was what played every time you went to my fucking MySpace profile. So
That's wild.
Imagine if kids could do that today with their fucking Twitter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
It would be absolutely insane.
It's
I would
so
love to see
boring, dude.
I would love to
I
see
want
that.
control. I want total control of my Twitter profile.
Yeah.
And when you go to it, it's just like everything I love. Like I don't know.
We'll get into it, but
misses
the
it.
main difference
Yeah.
is total freedom versus clinical professionalism.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference between the internet now and internet then.
Yeah,
So,
you're right.
I miss Zynga completely. Looking
did
up
too.
images of this, it's like I don't even.
You didn't
I
have
don't
a Zynga
even
either?
remember. I another one. This is abc.com from 1998 or whatever.
Oh man, I'm so
no,
glad
I did
we
not.
got to
Did
live
not have a
Zynga life
Zynga.
together. What if we followed each other? We didn't even know it.
I bet we did.
You
Yeah,
guys
dude.
are-
We've
you guys are disgusting.
We've been friends forever.
We might want to get rid of one of these chairs. We'll just sit on each other's laps.
Yeah, we need a love seat.
That's fine.
Okay, last thing I got, LimeWire.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
LimeWire.
yeah.
I want to spend a little bit of time talking
Yeah.
about
Okay.
like file sharing services for sure.
LimeWire, first exposure to porn, first exposure to like
Yep.
unrestricted music. Someone says a song, you can look it up. Your buddy
Well, while we're talking about this, how many free trials of WinZip did you use?
I still use free trials of WinZip.
never.
Really? You didn't wait till your 30 days was up, delete it, re-download it?
I don't know if I know what WinZip is. Tell the audience.
Well, if you were downloading pornography, you dirty boy, or movies from like a peer-to-peer file sharing site like LimeWire, because they would usually be zipped, so it would,
You're right,
compress,
you're right.
so it would be
I
easier to
remember
download, and then you could unzip it.
When's it? Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you could watch it because you couldn't watch it in its like compressed zip form, so you would have to unzip it, and then it would be
Yeah.
some weird MP4 that you'd have to play on a DVX player.
Yeah.
So
it was a lot of effort.
I think I had like a DVD player, like one of those portable DVD players that you could download like fucking videos to. Yeah.
Yeah, it was probably had the built-in DVX or
it was my little
WinRAR.
It was
whatever.
my Pornhub before my Pornhub.
Yeah, it was a literal hub of porn.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. So, Tommy, what about you, bud? What's your earliest memories of the internet?
I think what Zach was talking about in the beginning is opening up. Was it your first gateway computer, or do you not remember? Was it like a cow box?
I don't remember what it was at all. I remember it. Well, it was tan.
Okay.
It was tan and thick. And
might have
chunky,
been a Mac. I don't know.
And I don't think it was a Mac. I think it was a Windows.
Yeah.
Mac PCs didn't come till later.
It was a big deal when my family got a Mac computer. Like, I remember that.
So I don't remember exactly what year it was. I'm trying to figure out when the actual like gateway computer came out. I was still living in Key West, so I had to have been in like first, second, third grade. My dad brought home this cow box, and he was like, "This is a computer. We're going to be able to get on the internet today with this thing." And I was like, "What is the internet? Like, I don't know what the hell this thing is." So he sets it up. It came with this like thick book of like kids games. Like I had like, did anyone used to play like Spy Fox and like
Hell yeah, brother!
Goes to the zoo.
Oh my god! I didn't think we were going to be talking about Spy Fox and dry cereal.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god!
Let's go.
Dry cereal.
Dude, Spy Fox was the jam. Well, early computer games, dude. I could go on Pajama Sam.
Yes.
Any of the clicking.
Putt-Putt goes to the zoo.
Putt-Putt goes to the zoo.
What's the
it's Putt-Putt saves the zoo.
What's the two fishes' names?
Freddy and the other one.
Oh god, dude, those games are lit.
Freddy the Fish. I think it was just called Freddy.
Yeah,
the Fish.
Freddy the Fish.
You know what's funny is you guys have specific memories of these things.
Yeah.
And what you're saying to me makes no fucking sense.
Really?
Well, yeah, because again, the internet was so much wider and vaster back then that you could completely miss shit that other people have.
That's true.
Huge memories.
Well, I don't even think this was tied to the internet. This was just like a disc you got.
Well, yeah, but I had a game that me and my brother absolutely loved called Slipstream 5000.
Oh, shit.
And it was the fucking coolest shit ever because it had like cool 3D graphics. This was like, since the beginning of time, PC graphics have been better than console graphics. So at the time, we were still at a Sega Genesis, or like it was very early PlayStation days.
Yeah.
So like seeing this really awesomely rendered like 3D racing game, it's fucking garbage. And it was a terrible game in hindsight, but for us, it was an experience. Like, this game is fucking dope. I had a Dell, by the way. I didn't have a Gateway. I was always jealous that we didn't get a cow box.
Oh, damn, dude. Well, yeah, but that was
I had a Dell.
That's what it was.
I had a Dell.
Because it was like that commercial was really popular in the 90s. Like, dude, I'm getting a Dell.
Dude, getting a Dell, yeah.
You're getting a Dell, dude. Okay. So, got the Gateway, played the games. We got a, 30-day free trial to AOL.
Yep.
And my mom, she sat down. She was like, "I'm going to make your name Tab Dude 491. And it was like my initials. I said dude a lot. And 491 is my birthday, April 91. She makes my AOL account, and I fucking zoom in on the internet. And that was the days where it would boot up. It would sound like it was trying to possess a robot or something.
Right.
Yeah. I can vividly remember signing onto the internet for my first time and not knowing where the fuck what it was or where to go.
There was no direction.
Yeah,
it was like Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
go
yeah, exactly.
Go forth and explore.
AOL had a pretty sick homepage. It was like here's some things you might be into.
Yeah,
here's
sure.
the news. You had your mailbox, and it was Bill Clinton, or not Bill Clinton. It was a guy. I got his little fax up. You got mail would pop up. Fun fact. That dude was only paid 200 bones to record that.
That's crazy.
$200. He sold it.
The You Got Mail guy?
He only made $200 from that.
Wow.
The godfather of fucking internet.
He's getting some fat royalties.
He probably
from
gets
that,
royalties.
sure. But initially, it was probably like $200 for
$200 for that audio.
It was probably
clip.
the $5 of that. It's like, go to a talent agency who can do voiceovers real quick. And
I think
we'll
they
pay
just
them to do this.
I think they just they would ask people hey, this thing's coming out. Just send a recording of your voice. He said he recorded it. I'm pretty sure he said he recorded on a cassette and sent it to AOL, and they picked it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So You've Got Mail, AIM. I would get on once the internet started popping. If you were watching commercials, it would be go to DisneyChannel.com, ask your parents for permission, all that shit. So those are my earliest memories of internet.
Toontown.
Yeah,
Toontown.
Club Penguin.
Club Penguin was, that was right before I started dropping off of those sorts of games.
Yeah.
Club Penguin was like, it was so hot for like a few months.
That was. It feels like it was way after me because the internet,
might have been way
internet
after
years
us.
feel like extended, but it was
Yeah.
probably like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. Again, like
away
I said,
from
with my theme of parental supervision, right? The other theme of me is mind melding for some reason. Because I don't know, I can't remember times of like any of
know,
this shit.
dude.
It's
Yeah.
like it just feels like I always had the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like it's always been a part of me. But I do
Yeah.
remember a time before the internet. But the time before the internet was like so bizarre. It was like I just barely remember what I was doing. Like a lot of VHSs, video games.
Oh yeah.
Riding my bike outside.
That's what it was, dude. It was.
And then all of a sudden we got this thing that just
Yeah.
like implanted itself in our house, and then it was like, "Welcome to the universe." It was
Welcome to
like,
Skynet.
and you just sat there like for hours.
Dude, I
dude.
was
Your
addicted.
parents
I
would-
was legitimately addicted to
Oh,
the
I'd
internet.
be on that shit forever. My mom would be like, "Get off the fucking! I got to make a call. Like,
Yeah.
get off the computer."
Yeah, and for those of you that are not old enough to know, like you used to have to either choose your home phone line,
Yep.
just because cell phones didn't exist,
Nope.
or to be on the internet.
Yep.
And so
And if somebody tried to make a call while you were getting on, yeah, you're
Internet's
done.
gone. Yep.
Yep.
Eventually they came up with services where it
Yeah.
would like do call forwarding and stuff like
I remember
that. So-
seeing like an alert. It would come up on like the corner, and I'd be like, "Mom, Nana's calling."
exactly.
She's
Yes.
like, "Well, get off," and I'm
Yes.
like, "No, I'm in the middle of a Disney game."
You can call her back.
Yeah,
She'll
like,
leave a message.
She lives next door. Just walk over there, dude.
Dude, every Freddy Fish game is $6.99 on Steam.
No fucking way.
And
I would
actually
play. I would blow
hardcore
through those,
tempted
dude.
to play them.
I want to play Spy Fox again so bad. I
Spy
wanna-
Fox was the shit.
Do you remember being able to gamble with that dude, that pig in the bar, and you had to get that specific trinket from him?
Yeah, I do remember that.
You like set the jar of trinkets down and like use wages and shit. It taught us how to gamble.
These sorts of games, I feel like they all came from the same company
Yeah.
or something. But this was an introduction to me for like point and click video games
Yeah.
and like adventure games, and
God, they were so much fun.
yeah, they were funny, smartly written for kids games. Like I go back every now and then and I watch the trailer. Man, they were just like it was fun. Like it was genuinely fun, and I think they hold up visually okay. Like it's
Yeah,
still like
dude, they're
kind
not
of,
bad.
It's kind of an okay art style.
It's definitely stuck in time. Like I'm watching Zach watch a video of Spy
Right.
Fox, and but it's cool. Yeah, it's one of those anime. That's what I like about animation styles. Is if it's done well, it doesn't really matter what time it was made. So
Humongous entertainment. That's what it was.
Humongous. But yeah, man.
you just sexually assault me.
No, it's humongous.
But yeah, I feel
humongous.
I feel like those are my earliest memories, and I'm ready to. I mean, we don't have to like go into it, but I don't want to give too much away because I have a lot to.
Sure,
I mean,
sure.
maybe not a lot to talk about. I don't want to pump myself up too much.
Sure. Before we get into like specific corners of the early internet,
Exactly.
I want to talk about the way I kind of was able to find stuff on the early internet, which was, and I don't know if you guys have used this before, but did you guys ever use StumbleUpon.com?
Stumble upon.
Yes.
So what's StumbleUpon?
I just fainted.
It still exists.
It still
Fucking
exists.
Still exists.
There's a StumbleUpon app you can download, and it'll work. But what StumbleUpon was,
I forgot all about that.
You go to StumbleUpon.com and you sign up for an account. You like list your interests, and you hit that stumble button, and it brings you to just a random corner of the internet. I found some of the weirdest, funniest shit that way, and that was really the best way to kind of discover stuff.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, there
It was like a
portal
shuffle.
websites.
It was a shuffle for the internet.
Right. There was like portal. Yeah, there was people that would like early, like they would just have a list of stuff. Like, do you like this? Here's a list of hyperlinks that you can click on. But StumbleUpon was really the most fun and the most interactive way to kind of surf the internet and figure out what was fucking out there. Because
Remember that saying? Remember that being a thing? I don't know if kids know what that means. Like surf the internet.
yeah, you would literally
No one surfs the internet anymore.
Nobody channel surfs either. And it was
Yeah.
literally you would sit there and click a button until you found something you like, and that's exactly what Stumble Upon was.
Yeah, exactly.
That you had to just kind of ride the wave of the internet until you hit that perfect wave, and you could ride the barrel in and whoop.
Surf the internet makes me hearing that sentence makes me want to be in a Taco Bell in 2001.
Oh my god, dude!
Like right before they swapped everything out for like the clean, pristine tables, and it was like they had a designer come in and just go and like throw shit like. You know what this bench needs? A triangle. And they would throw it like on the thing right there. And did I get a spit take from Kevin?
You know what this bench needs? A triangle.
Almost a spit take.
Well, it's true. I mean,
Yeah.
well, we were talking about like the aesthetic of the 90s too, and not just like, I mean, the internet aesthetic is the early internet aesthetic is responsible now for Outrun and Vaporwave.
Yeah.
We're starting to become nostalgic for the 90s. Like right now we're just, I think, exiting that 80s bump.
Yeah.
But it's like we're also starting to like get to the time where people from the 90s are starting to feel nostalgic for the 90s.
Yeah, and it's funny, in my research for this topic, a lot of like movie studios, they're building their official websites like old GeoCities websites just because the people that are making these movies are nostalgic for that shit now. And it's really cool. It's more welcoming. It feels more personal. Because, like I said, the internet now is very clinical and very corporate, whereas before it was truly run by the people of the interweb. So, I mean, it was truly a worldwide web of people just posting whatever the fuck they wanted. So, but yeah, Stumble Upon's great. If you don't know about it, I'm pretty sure it still works and it still exists.
Seriously?
One of my favorite things that I found on Stumble Upon was it was literally just a Flash animation. It was nothing else. There was nothing else on this website, but it was just a virtual bubble wrap thing.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yes,
It was
I remember that.
It didn't fill up your whole screen, but it almost did, and you could just drag your mouse over and it would give you the pop, the satisfying pop of bubble wrap.
Yep.
And I fucking played with that shit for, I don't know, not hours.
It was just virtualbubblewrap.com or
That's all.
something.
Yeah, who knows? But I found it from Stumble Upon. It would always lead you to weird shit like that, and there would be like information and stuff like that would lead you to, because again, it was based on your interests. But man, is it fun! It was just a lot of fun to just kind of click around and just find random shit. So, what I want to talk about next, because I think we all have a lot to say about it, is just instant messaging. So, I did this poll on Instagram on our account yesterday, and I asked you guys to respond really because I just wanted to figure out how to work those things and how to post like responses and stuff. Mm-hmm. But
help us learn
there
technology.
it is. Yes, Tommy pulled up the virtual bubble wrap.
Come on, you know you want to.
Come on, you know you want to, and you literally just run your mouse over it, and it just gives you.
I remember that for some reason. Seeing that image just jogged my memory.
Yeah, it's just a shitty little wave file of.
I have not thought about that in years, dude. There was a box that you could check for manic mode, and I'm pretty sure you didn't have to click your mouse. You could just go.
Real quick, when was Stick RPG? Y'all remember Stick RPG?
Yeah.
Wait, are you talking about stickdeath.com?
Well, there was stickdeath.com. That was talk about the worst. One of the worst punishments, or like one of the most mad that my father's ever been at me in my life, was when he found the internet browsing history for Stick. What was it called?
Stickdeath.com.
Yeah, and it was just like comically gruesome videos of stick figures getting killed.
There was like a Survivor episode where like they would just like, instead of getting casted off, they'd get murdered. Essentially.
Yeah, that website, man, it got me in so much trouble.
You want to talk about repressed memories? You guys are jogging a lot of them.
Good.
Do you remember Stickdeath?
Yeah, I remember all this.
Do you remember Get Down with the Sickness, where they would like raise the demon out of the portal? Oh shit.
Well, it was like Stick Suicide was the big thing.
Oh,
like
that one was fun.
There was a rumor that was going around my school, where it was like, have you been to this? Have you been
Yes,
to this?
yes.
And it was like, finally I did it, and that's what got me in trouble. But it was like, it was funny, but you didn't know what was happening. It was just like these cartoon characters getting horrendously beat to death.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, it's funny. But then my father thought it was like, I thought I was like going to the dark side of the force, and
you probably were.
Probably, yeah. No, look at me now. But Stick RPG though, you gave me the wink on that one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I remember Stick RPG.
One of my first forays into the RPG world was that tiny little Flash game. It was like You were like a little stick. Did you ever play this?
It rings a bell. I mean, I'm sure it was on Newgrounds.
Yeah, it was just one of those frustrating games where you work up to get all this money to buy the biggest house. And you know how, remember when like Temple Run was big and people would screenshot their phone and be like, oh, I made it this far. And it was like leaderboards for the internet.
Right.
Well, Stick RPG, it was like you could get all the way to this big house and this big car and you get like all this shit. But the thing is that if you turn your browser off, you lose all your progress because it's a Flash game.
Yeah, right.
So like people would like leave it running forever and like do all this shit. And I always wanted to get to that level, but I never could.
I think you can still go to it, dude.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
We'll never lose anything.
Online games
from our childhood.
The thing is, we will. Like, the internet's disappearing because people stop paying for like URLs, and like there's a whole big movement to kind of save like the early internet. I think I was telling you about it earlier today.
Right, with GeoCities.
Yeah, and they have like this whole terabyte file you can download, and it's every GeoCities site that ever existed in this 1 terabyte file. I don't have a terabyte of room on this little Chromebook that I have, or else I would have downloaded it.
Yeah,
we would have clicked through some stuff, but there's a big like. Because it's disappearing. Flash is going to disappear. So Newgrounds, everything on Newgrounds is going to be gone unless they can convert it all to HTML5 or save it in a file somehow.
I spent so much time on Newgrounds.
Yeah, Homestar Runner is another thing that's going to disappear unless they can convert it all to HTML5. So it's weird. It's like the second death of the internet is happening.
These things can't like be moved to like YouTube somehow.
Well, yeah, I mean, Homestar has a YouTube channel, but it's not interactive. It's not Flash,
right.
So you can't click on stuff while it's happening, which is half the fun.
Right.
It's just slowly moving your mouse around, looking for it to turn to that little finger, so you can click on it and get a little Easter egg.
I feel kind of bad. Like,
we
should have kept going to these websites.
It sucks. I never stopped going to homestarrunner.com. Never. And every now and again, I'll log into my Newgrounds.
It was bound to be an outdated software, like the stuff that they're using, like HTML5, and it's just like we're constantly evolving. What I meant by saying like we'll never lose any of our history or whatever, it's like there's always going to be pieces of it, but yeah, it's like some of it's going to disappear with like people that weren't as passionate. But stuff like Homestar Runner, stuff like a lot of the stuff on Newgrounds, I think people care enough to like, let's make sure that these important pieces are preserved because people in our age bracket that lived through those times have a little bit more respect for the culture back then.
But yeah, guys, got a little bit backtrack there, but I want to talk about our early screen names. Tommy, you said yours was Tab Dude 4 for what?
Tab Dude 491.
491.
Yeah, and I can still sign on to that shit.
You remember your password? Impressive.
Yeah.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Have you ever? When was the last time you logged on?
Oh, dude, yeah.
You can't. It's dead.
It's been a minute, but I remember. Yeah, I think it's Tab Dude 491 is still like my sign on to get onto Facebook.
That's funny. Dill, what was yours?
Mr. New Booty 7.
Is that real? I thought that was a joke.
No, it's real. Because I remember him. Because when I saw it, I was like, Dylan's obviously telling a joke. But then I remember you telling me that because we've talked about this before.
It wasn't great.
Mr. New Booty?
Yeah. Remember?
New Booty. N-E-W Booty.
Bubba Sparks.
I found you,
Miss New Booty. Get it together and bring it back to me.
Okay.
In the Players Club. About a month or two.
That's that verse.
About 14 years ago, I thought it'd be funny if I did a little play on words and did Mr. New Booty instead of Miss New Booty. Joke landed well. Got lots of girlfriends over it.
Mine's worse, dude. I promise you. My first one is terrible.
Oh, I know it. It's
so bad.
I had lots of AIMs, but that was a ton, that was the one that I remember vividly.
My very first one, I was 13. I made it with my mom. And it was the_nice_guy_13. I was the nice guy 13.
Oh, honey.
So
the nice guy.
Yeah, it was funny. We went on to my mom made another one. Because she used to call me Goobshka or whatever. So I had a Goobshka name, just like a Russian goober, I guess. I don't know. That's what they were. It was like inside jokes with your friends is what your screen names were. But yeah, Nice Guy 13 was my very first one, and the one I used for most of the time I was using messengers was Spartacus Carter, and Spartacus was spelled so wrong it's comical. So SPARTIKUS instead of SPARTACUS. So
gave some character.
Yeah. So. But yeah, they weren't great. So Zach specifically saved his, and he didn't.
No, I didn't save it. I just didn't put it up because it's boring as fuck.
Oh.
Zach Rotello.
That's it. Oh, boo.
Yeah, that's all I've ever been. I've always been a fame whore. I always want my name to be on everything. It's like I don't want no imposters. Anytime there was a new social media, it's always I want to go on and get Zach Rotello because what if I become a billionaire and then I got to pay someone $30 million to give up the screen name Zach Rotello because I don't want them posting Nazi shit on my Twitters. The only time that ever differed was MySpace. Because MySpace, the time that I was finally allowed to get a MySpace account was around the time that I started listening to Coldplay.
Yeah.
I got real into them when I was a kid. And so my screen name on MySpace was Coldplay Politic 42, which Politic was one of their songs from A Rush of Blood to the Head I was really into at the time. And I was just on there. I was on a kick. They were the first band I ever listened to that wasn't Christian. So it was just like, I was like, man, this music is really, really good.
This isn't Toby Mac.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, they're not talking about God. This is edgy. And then I realized that there's a ton of other better music out there.
So you went from my God is an awesome God to they were all yellow.
Yes, exactly.
Interesting.
Jars of Clay to Coldplay.
Hey. So yeah, man, I was a Yahoo Messenger guy. That was the thing in Wilmington. Everybody was on.
Really?
Everybody. Yeah, sorry guys, we lost power there. So
power up! We're fine, everybody.
The internet.
Mom kicked me off. She had a phone call to make.
Yeah, what happened. That's what happened.
We wanted to role play what it would have been like in 1992, so we turned the power off.
If us in 1990 whatever, would make a podcast and Mom fucking made a call, we just got disconnected.
I should insert the logging on sound
when we come back,
when the audio bite goes that
would be really funny. Actually, you should do that.
All right, we'll do that now. Forget that you guys heard this joke.
So
so just cut all that out.
Wilmington used Yahoo Messenger, like a bunch of
Messenger was all we ever
hillbillies.
used. I guess.
Yeah, because I even remember specifically using AOL like chat rooms and stuff. So you guys were like Yahoo Messenger.
I was Yahoo Chat forever.
That's crazy.
I even had a program called Cheetah Chat that allowed you to do like different gradients in your text. You could put like a picture next to your name in the chat room. It was cool. Yeah, it was awesome. You could like load up different profiles. You could type up an intro for when you entered a room. It would leave like this long paragraph, which was great for role playing because you could like type up this really edgelordy like.
Oh my god, I might have done something.
Vegeta enters the room.
Yeah. Kakarot is on my shit list again.
Suddenly, the ground rumbles, and you could leave like these long fucking paragraphs of text introducing your character to the room. So, Wilmington was a Yahoo Messenger school, man. At least while I was there.
Interesting.
I didn't get named till college. Well, until like senior year of high school because I was meeting people that were using AIM, and I wanted to talk to them. It was mainly for talking to girls. So let's be real.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I got a story for that.
Let's dive in, bud.
Do you want me to dive into that? Because it's a depressing story.
I can't wait. Can't wait to cry.
So, do you guys remember like away messages?
Yeah, for sure.
So you could put like it was always in Comic Sans for some shitty reason. Why were we always putting that? Like every away message I'm looking up right now is in Comic Sans in like a capital letter, lowercase letter, capital,
God.
like a SpongeBob meme kind of thing. It's so
shit.
weird. It's like. It was always like whatever like emo ass song you were listening to that was like the lyrics and quotations. So anyway, I was dating a girl, and
how old were you? What grade?
Freshman.
Okay,
freshman in high school.
Cool. So it was actually dating, not like
fifth grade
and
she was a sophomore, and I thought I was hot shit. I was like, I'm dating an upperclassman. This is dope. And we were talking on AIM. Everything was cool, and I was like, hey, I gotta go eat dinner with my mom. I'll be right back. Put my away message up. Went and ate dinner with my mom. Came back. She had broken up with me with my away message up. She had said, like, I wanted to wait till your away message is up because I don't know how to say this, but I overheard that you're only dating me because I have a car and you're yeah. And
was that true?
Yeah. She was like, I overheard so and so say that you're only dating me because I take you to the mall and I just can't date a boy that only dates me because I have a car. It's over. Done. And then signed off AIM. And when I came back, I was like, what the fuck? I couldn't rebuttal. She was gone.
Yep.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that, Tommy.
Yeah, it's whatever.
How long did she was she spend like a week on Invisible so you couldn't?
Yeah,
see her?
yeah. And she wouldn't talk to me at school. It was fucked, and it was kind of true. I remember telling one of my friends that. I was like, dude, she takes me to the mall all the time. It's pretty dope. And yeah, I mean, it might have been kind of true. I don't
Got
know.
a real sweet nest egg here.
Hold on. She was driving as a sophomore?
Yeah, she was 16.
Did she get held back?
I don't know.
I was
Maybe.
driving, and
I was
driving freshman year, summer
sophomore
between
year.
freshman and sophomore.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm old for
You
my
were
grade.
not 16 as a freshman.
I was 16 as a freshman.
No, you were not.
Absolutely.
No, you were not.
I wasn't?
There's no way. You were like 14 when you were a freshman.
No, I was 14 when I was a freshman.
Yeah, so you weren't driving.
Yeah, you're
Not
right.
all of us were in the gifted classes, Kevin.
Not all of us
lot
were on
us-
Yahoo Chat.
A lot of us did 3 rounds of kindergarten. Okay.
Fucking idiots.
Wait,
dude.
what? So I'm pretty sure I had a car.
You were not
sophomore
driving your freshman year.
Well, she
I
had a
was
car.
driving my sophomore year.
Maybe she just had her
Maybe
temps.
towards the tail end. Yeah, if you were old enough, there's possible you could have been like tail end.
Maybe she had her temps.
Maybe.
I
Who
don't
knows?
know.
Or maybe she was just a fucking crazy girl, and that's why you liked her, Tommy. And
She was crazy.
She stole it.
I kind of want to shout her out, but I won't.
Don't do that. Please don't do that.
You were right, kind of.
Not a good idea.
Yeah, don't do that. She knows who she is. You know who you are, and you broke Tommy's little heart.
No, she didn't break my heart. I was
Well,
fine.
Okay.
But I did.
But he didn't have a ride for a while.
Yeah,
Put a
but I
damper on
did
his
make
plans.
an emo. Okay, listen to this. This is a true story. I made an emo ass post about it on my fucking Zanga. I was like, I just got broken up with, and guess who fucking entered the chat? Just guess.
Aaron?
Yeah,
Nice.
No way.
she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that," and then boom.
You're like, we should get married and eventually buy a house and have 2 dogs together.
Yeah.
And
I saw her comment my thing, and I was like, "Oh, damn, who's this?" And I was like, "Oh, fuck yeah."
she doesn't have a car.
But she
she's
didn't have
okay.
a car.
Yeah, she doesn't have a car, but she has a choker on, and that means she's emo.
dude.
man.
But yeah, dude, yeah. So yeah, that's my little AIM story.
Has nothing to do with it. Might actually kind of does have something to do with the internet because chokers, man, oh man, to this day they drive me wild. And it was because that's what girls were wearing back then, and it was proliferated by the internet.
Yeah.
It was before like e-girls exist. It was choker girls and low-rise jeans.
Yep.
So, Dill, you got any funny AIM stories? AIM/Yahoo Messenger
Plenty
stories?
of cringeworthy. Away, like putting up away messages and not leaving the computer.
just to see who would message you.
Yeah.
Or
Like,
see, no, that's classic because
Like-
again, what I was talking about with Tommy, people would go on invisible mode.
Yeah.
Like if they were trying to avoid you.
and
so that's
you would get a
classic.
message and it would be like, so-and-so is offline. And then you get a message like, hey, what's up, man? You're like, how are you messaging me? You're offline. They're like, I'm on ghost mode.
Yeah.
Like, oh, dang, that's pretty
I
gangster.
lived on invisible mode, dude.
But blow
I
your
just-
friends' fucking minds with that shit.
It would blow my mind every time. But I remember specifically like wanting one specific person to message me and be like, going to eat dinner. If anyone cares, message me while I'm away. It's so cringy. But I was 13, 14
That's
at the
so
time.
funny, dude.
And
So
like
funny.
they would message me and be like, hey, I'm here. Like I'm not gone. I'm so glad you messaged me.
Did you guys ever voice chat?
I don't. Maybe.
The first time I remember voice chatting was chat roulette,
Really?
Oh,
which I
dude.
think we can get into later.
Well, yeah,
we
well,
will.
you can touch on it for sure.
Yeah, that was like freshman year of high school for me. Was chat roulette, and I remember it was like you just get on there and whatever
Talk
happens,
about Wild
happens.
West, dude.
I've
seen more gross
dicks.
So many
because of
dicks.
chat roulette.
It is.
Go
I've
up, you're like,
never
oh,
wanted to see.
okay.
It's a mountain of dicks.
It's the same pose every time,
Yeah.
dude. It's dude leaning back with his his fucking
flexing his fucking abs.
Yeah, flexing his abs and his thing with
And
his
then it's-
fucking balls jumping back and
And then as soon as he
Holy
sees it's a-
God, you guys. Holy God.
And then as soon as he sees it's a dude, he's like, "Oh, next."
yeah, next, he had his little wireless mouse where you couldn't see it off.
But that was like the thing to do on a sleepover. Like you go to your buddy's house and you're like, we getting on chat roulette tonight? Oh yeah, we're getting on chat roulette tonight.
Yeah.
We're gonna play our cards, right?
Yeah.
So you start chat rouletting with a girl from Oregon, and then it's like, oh, so and so's gotta go to bed, and you're like, whatever,
yeah, whatever.
we'll
dude.
move on.
I thought we had some. No, what the profound loss where you skipped over a cute girl on accident because you're just so used to
Couldn't go
clicking
back.
through fucking
Couldn't go
gross
back.
dicks for 10 hours.
Or if you get skipped over, Oh man, that
hard
the
rejection.
lowest of the low.
Hurts.
That's like Can you imagine signing onto your Tinder profile and just getting swiped right in front of your fucking eyes? That's what chat roulette was. I don't know. Swipe left, right. I don't know.
Yeah,
what it is.
left. I know you didn't use Tinder. That was good, Tommy.
Oh, thanks.
Well done. What do you gonna swipe up? I don't fucking know. How the fuck does Tinder work?
But yeah, I remember just like being able to build a bio and having like we were looking at friends lists earlier and just like you build your friends list. There was so much fun about instant messenger that I don't think can really be
Do you guys remember
recaptured.
Do you guys remember the bots like Smarter Child?
Yeah, dude, I sure do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, chatbots were interesting.
I used to abuse the shit out of Smarter
Yeah,
Child.
dude.
I'd be like, "You're a fucking idiot."
You fucking suck, dude. Or you like dicks?
Smarter Child's like, "I can't respond to that."
Zach, you got any interesting or?
Specifically, well, so I was an AOL Instant Messenger person, and then it switched to AIM. I felt like that was most of the school, but in the other half, it was like I was only messaging like 4 people.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So it was like inner class politics, I guess. It was like
It was an early group chat.
yeah, early group chat. So it's like like 2 of them are my friends. One of them was a girl that I thought was cute that was messaging me, and the other one I don't even remember.
Was that the girl that you sung to, by chance?
That was around the MySpace
Oh, okay,
time.
okay.
Like we would message using MySpace when that girl. And there was Facebook messaging in there too. Like once that evolved into that particular sect, which I get Facebook
Dude,
Messenger
you know
is still a
what's
thing.
funny? Specifically with Facebook Messenger, this was, I don't know, 10 years ago now. Maybe not that quite that long ago.
Yeah.
But I messaged a girl that I wanted to talk to on Facebook Messenger. And I was, trying to be suave or whatever. And her response to me was, "Why are you messaging me on Facebook Messenger? It's so fucking lame." And I was like, "Oh no!"
Yikes!
And it's like, I don't know how you
Yikes.
wanted me to get a hold
Shut
of
down.
you, or hold on, Zach, is your mic in?
Yeah, my mic's
Okay,
in.
cool. I couldn't hear you there.
My mouth was off to the side for a second.
Gotcha. But yeah, so you didn't have like anything like crazy or anything like that?
Nah, again, like my name was Zach Rotello
Yeah.
on the chats. I was playing it pretty straight. I would write my poems to the girls, and I would
Different colored fonts.
exactly,
Yeah.
and I would do my buddy, like change my buddy,
Yeah.
on the website there. I do remember. I mean, like again, jumping off of like you with like the emo song stuff or whatever is like I remember many a My Chemical Romance song was like used as the away message. So for no good reason whatsoever.
And it was like the worst songs to quote, like Helena. Like, what's
Yeah.
the worst that I could say? Things are better if I stay. Leave a message. But there's a thing I follow on Twitter, and she doesn't post very much anymore, but she posts like old AOL
dude,
Instant
I need
Messenger,
that so much.
Twitter or AOL Instant Messenger, like away messages. I think that's her name, like away messages or whatever. It's so funny. It's like grounded, hit the cell or something like that. It's just like it's perfect. She even uses like the little asterisks with the little squiggly lines. And I followed it like 5 or 6 years ago. It's awesome.
So to put this into a current like internet contest, is essentially your away message were subtweets.
Yeah.
So you'd throw a tweet out there specifically targeted for somebody, but you wouldn't specifically.
Oh,
at them.
absolutely.
So that's what an away message was.
Yes.
But everybody could see it, so everybody kind of knew who you were talking to, or like you would hope the girl would see it, or one of her friends would see it, and they'd be like, "Oh, did you see his away message? I think
Yep.
it's about you." Shit like that. So, I mean, obviously, like Dylan's pulling up the Twitter profile.
Going as
I
a
have to
sexy SEXXI construction worker for Halloween with my girls. Colon P. Hire us to nail you, LOL.
Oh boy.
It's-
Colon P, the tongue
Yeah.
face, dude. Tongue
Again.
face meant business, boy.
So much of this crap is like stuff that I witnessed from the outside.
Yeah.
I'm like a patient in like a mental ward, like looking out the thing at all of my friends across the street at the playground, and they're all like, "Oh, look at it. Oh, I'm on Omegle. Oh, I'm on chat roulette. I'm looking at stuff on the lines," and I'm over there, and I'm like, I just got done playing Sonic Adventure 2 Battle for like 14 hours. It's like I'm not really so like yeah. It's like my internet, all of the internet stuff that I went through, I feel like I had the sheltered experience for most of the internet, but then it was literally as soon as high school hit, and I finally figured out that it's like, oh, I don't have to follow these rules. I can just do this stuff in secret, and they'll never know. And then, bada bing, bada boom, you got yourself a web surfing maniac there. And so then I caught up on all the stuff that I missed.
There's a very specific age cutoff for people that know how to delete their browser history and people that are too old to know how to delete their browser history.
Cookies? What are cookies?
What are cookies?
Yeah.
Those are delicious.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me particularly, like I said, I spent a lot of time in chat rooms. So I was talking to people I had no idea who they were, but there were certain people that I formed like connections with. So I had friends that I've never met. I'll probably never meet, but I still have very fond memories of talking to these people because we connected. We would voice chat, so I knew it was a real person.
Did they lose interest in you when you turned 18?
No. Well, it's funny you say that because there is one person that I still like. We follow each other on social media. yeah, right. I don't know. Maybe I was targeted by a pedo out
Could
there.
have been.
But yeah, there's one person. Her name is Acela. She's from Texas. And we still talk to each other every now and again. We've never met. We might not ever talk. We might not ever meet, but we still have this relationship that we formed when I was 13 and she was 14. And she knew how to speak Spanish, and she was like really cool and fun to talk to. I remember my buddy.
Her name is Frank. She's a semi-truck
No,
driver.
like
I'm just kidding.
I'll pull her up. I'll show her. I'll show you who she is.
Como está, Kevin?
Candy cane.
Haha, so funny, guys.
No.
Hi, I'm Chris Hansen, and welcome.
Yeah.
No, you've got the longest. This is the longest wind up for a booty call I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I mean, it might be.
For real, dude.
Who knows?
The next time you're in Austin, Texas.
Yeah. Like legitimately, I've been talking to her since I was like 13 years old, and I'm 32 now. So
That's crazy.
almost 20 years.
Nuts.
Yeah. So, and I've never met her, and I might not ever, but I still have fond memories of talking to this person. It was a friend for me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Why are you laughing?
I don't know, because I'm hearing that Journey song. It's like, lie here beside me. As you're like texting this girl on the thing.
But for me, that was why I was so addicted to it, because it was so weird for me to be able to make a friend with somebody that I'd never met. I mean, Tommy, you and I are watching Love is Blind.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Which is the concept of...
Oh, my God. We might have to have a whole episode.
Yeah, I really want to, because it's fucking
For real?
hilarious. Yeah, oh yeah.
And make them watch it?
Yeah, Love is Blind is awesome.
Yes.
I'm down to watch some Nick Lachey trash.
Obviously, Nick Lachey.
Nick-
I'm obviously
Nick Lachey in the entire 9-hour run so far has been on screen for maybe 5 minutes.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the 4 seconds he's on is memeable. It's nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
But it's that same thing. It's like obviously I ran the risk as a fucking little 13-year-old boy of this person being some trucker named Jim Bob who just wanted to see my little wiener. You know what I mean? But it didn't end up being that.
Yeah. No,
it's a cool thing. I mean, obviously, I would love to meet her. You know what I mean? I would love to go down to text, but just it never worked out or whatever.
Yeah.
But,
well,
it's a cool friendship, you know what I mean? It's every now and again I'll hit her up or she'll text me and be like, yeah, I've had a shitty day. I want somebody to talk to. So to me, that was what was cool about. I mean, obviously I used it for the same shit. Like I would leave, like I would go away just to see who popped back online if they were trying to avoid me or whatever. Or I would leave like away messages specifically targeted for somebody. But for me, that was why I was addicted to it, because once I formed, she was like one of the first people I ever talked to on the internet, and it just happened to be a good one. So I got lucky. So that's why I was addicted to like chat rooms. I was chasing that rush again. Like I want to meet cool people that I may never meet. I could be my unfiltered self without fear of judgment. Because there was a long period in my life where I didn't let my full self out.
Yeah.
I was the jock. You know what I mean? I had to be that because that's what everybody wanted me to be. And on the internet, I could be my full self. You know what I mean? So
you could be Vegeta.
I could be Vegeta if I
Yeah.
fucking wanted to be.
Yep.
Fuck off. I could date Sailor
Yeah.
Mercury if I fucking wanted to.
Yeah, dude. I have something cool to add to that, because when I started getting like really into the music scene, and Aaron did this too. We would join like our favorite bands like message boards and stuff, and you would talk to kids like, "Hey, are you going to tonight's show? Are you going to the Cincinnati show?" And you would meet these people in real life. You would talk to them on the messenger boards for years, and then finally, when that band would come to your town, you'd be like, "Let's meet."
Yeah.
And then like our parents would be there, and it was like super awkward.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
Hey, we've been talking for years. Super dope. Super dope.
Yeah.
Chat boards and messaging boards are where I found that sort of that release.
Right.
Like I got into Reddit super duper early, like probably, oh boy, definitely before high school. So probably like maybe junior high school was when I first discovered Reddit and then got super into it. Found the communities that I really liked, communities for bands that I was really enjoying, communities for movies that I was really enjoying, directors that I really liked, the music subreddit, like the genre for like alternative music, I don't know, so on and so forth. Like television shows that were airing, like while Avatar: The Last Airbender was like airing, I was subredditing to the subreddit, and you would discuss like episodes with like people, and that was cool. Never made like real world connections with a lot of my internet. It was like if I knew someone in real life, I also knew them on the internet. But people I knew on the internet, I only knew on the internet. Never extended past that for me.
Sure.
One of my best friends, he was always super into World of Warcraft. I don't know if you guys ever got into that, but
No.
That's a lot of his friendships were like,
Yeah.
he had some friends from all over the world that like he played with religiously. They were in his group.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shared experience. It's like if you go to movies with your friends, it's the same thing. You know, if you go and experience these cool things together, you eventually form bonds and you talk about what you did, and you're able to have that cool shared experience. And so, yeah, they become friends even if you've never met them. So it's a weird thing. I think the stigma's going away quite a bit. And I was afraid if this was 5 years ago, I never would have told you that story.
Yeah,
because I was afraid. I would be afraid of what you guys would say. But the stigma is so far gone with that stuff. So, I feel comfortable telling people that. I still haven't. I don't think I've ever told anybody about that. Really, ever.
Wow.
So,
well, there you go, world exclusive.
Exclusive.
I mean, there's people that knew, but like a wider audience. Like a lot of my friends probably didn't know about that. So,
Yeah.
I feel bad we called her a trucker. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It was just like podcast banter. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were opening up to
It's
us.
fine. I'll message her and be like, hey, my buddy's called you a truck driver. So don't be too offended.
Yeah.
So, yeah, guys. So yeah, that was obviously like a big corner of the internet, especially for kids our age. But the next biggest corner, peer-to-peer file sharing. And when I was looking at it, it was so condensed. Like it only lasted for 3-4 years, really, in its heyday before it all got shut down or it became so loaded down with viruses and shit before it was just unusable. But I was around. I remember when Napster. I was there day one for now. Oh, I felt like day one. I was definitely there week one for Napster. And the first song I downloaded was "Nookie" by Limp Bizkit.
Oh, let's go!
And when I remember because it took forever. I was on that old 56K connection. It took probably 20 minutes to download the song. It's like a 3-minute song. It took 20 minutes.
But you probably had it in a folder on my computer, Kev's files.
Dude.
Yeah.
And it just I remember just going through. I'm like, I literally having an entire world's worth of everything at my fingertips to download and listen to was a mind-blowing experience.
Yeah, dude, the music alone for like the way that the internet revolutionized how I ingested music, insane. Maybe the biggest change aside from like the information access, like but that came later. That came when I was like looking for information. But like I had 20 CDs when I was growing up. They were all the same fucking CD forever. I exchanged them in the car and listened to whatever we wanted to listen to. I had a couple cassette tapes, but they were mostly hand-me-downs. We had a record player, but it was all shit that I didn't want to listen to at that time in my life. All I wanted to listen to was all this cool music I heard everywhere else in the world, on the radio, on movies, on television. And I was like, why can't I listen to this stuff? My parents are like, well, we can't like buy these albums. Like we can't afford these out. Like you just can't buy all this music that you want. So then, yeah, when Napster hit, I caught the very tail end of Napster.
Sure.
But then LimeWire
was
the
changed
fucking
the game,
thing, man. LimeWire was
Changed
life, and it changed the game. Yeah, and the first thing I ever downloaded, the first full MP3 track I wanted was All Star by Smash Mouth.
Yeah, baby.
Because, yeah, that song was the jam. And I remember for the longest time, I was like, I love this song, All Star by Smash Mouth. It's in Shrek. It's a great song. I like this song a lot. And I told my parents that I really wanted that CD. And my dad ended up bringing home the Christian version of the song. And I'm not fucking with you.
What's the Christian version of
The
All
Kids Bop?
No. It was the lyrics were reworked. Like I think it was like by like the
Hey now, Jesus Christ now.
Yeah.
He died
Newsboys.
for your sins.
Yeah, it was like the Newsboys or something like that. Like some Christian band reworked All Star, and he brought that home, and he's like, here's All Star. And it's like, the meme where it's like, I want All Star, Mom. It's like, no, we have All Star at home. And it was the Christian ass version. So when LimeWire came out, man, all bets were off. I downloaded everything I wanted to. Linkin Park, Eminem, stuff that I knew my parents didn't want me to listen to. All that stuff that the world expanded.
Because you could rip it to a CD, delete it from the computer, and it's gone.
Yep.
Gone from existence. And that was like ripping CDs was a big part of.
And I would label the CDs with like Sharpie or whatever, and
yeah.
like label them like Reliant K or whatever, like whatever Christian band I was into at the time. And so when Elliot does that in Mr. Robot, strong feels because it's like, oh my god, it's just like my childhood.
Did you listen to POD?
Who didn't?
Well, they're Christian ish.
The name
Payable
sounds
upon
familiar.
death.
Youth of a Nation. We are.
Yes.
The youth of a nation.
Yes. I've heard that song at least. I'm not sure if I listened to much.
Listen to Southtown on the way home. It still slaps.
Yeah, Southtown's good.
Yeah.
Their POD's first album is actually really good. Like,
You wanna know-
Go
My
ahead.
dad played that CD when he was picking me up from kindergarten. I was so embarrassed because I was like, Dad, everyone's going to think we listen to screamo music. Like,
and
I was
fast
I was
forward
so
a few
embarrassed.
years.
I was so embarrassed. Like, Dad, this is so loud. Like, come on. This isn't Smash Mouth.
Screamo's not even fucking or Screamo. POD's like it doesn't scream at all. Not really.
I know, but just the
was
guitars were
grungy.
so loud.
Yeah.
It was like the
You
music
had
I was
never heard
listening to in
distorted guitar
kindergarten.
before. Yeah.
I couldn't have Shamika knowing I listened to that.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and I mean, I talked about this on your episode, Dill, where I would rip CDs in the way I liked to listen to music, where it had a rising action and it had a peak and it had a flow into the end, and I would never repeat the same artist twice. I had very specific rules about ripping CDs, and it was like an art to me, man. If I heard my buddy's CD and it fucking was all over the place, I'm like, get this fucking shit out of here.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Were you high when you made this?
Yeah, and it allowed me to kind of inform the way I like to listen to music because, again, I talked about it on your show. I didn't experience albums in the same way a lot of other people did. I experienced snippets of albums and the albums that I made for myself. So it was a really interesting time because I was off the walls just downloading all kinds of shit. Like, it's how I discovered Lewis Black. I downloaded Lewis Black Routine, and I listened to it over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, the amount of comedians I discovered by
Brian
just
Regan,
like,
same thing.
Brian Regan was one of the ones I found.
I forgot about doing that.
Brian Regan's first special is one of the funniest things I've ever listened to, and I could listen like me and my whole family. We all because we would listen to it on road trips. That Brian Regan, we throw it on, and we all just laugh hysterically about it to this day. So.
It's funny you say that because this past week I was given a mixtape that I had given someone in high school.
That's awesome.
And I was giving it back and listening to it, like it was all over the place, but at the same time, like I remember making it.
You know
like,
what you were
remember,
thinking
like,
about the time. Yep.
It like had a beginning, middle, and end, and like you said, no two artists are played on this.
Yep.
It was like 22. You buy the 80-minute CDs because that holds like almost 23 songs.
Yeah, dude. That brings. Oh my god, dude! Thinking about just the length of time where you would bring up the thing and it would be like you would add all the songs you wanted, and it would be this far over what the CD was able to do, and you had to make some really tough cuts.
Time to
man.
make some cuts.
You had to make
boys.
some tough cuts. I would spend hours making one CD.
Yeah,
and it is just because I knew what I wanted, and I would just dump it all into the thing.
Yeah.
And then you had to make some real tough cuts, man. And that is, I spent so much time in high school just burning and thinking about the theme of that CD that I'm never going to listen to ever again. It was my life, man. Like, that's why I love music so much now, is because I poured so much energy into making mixed CDs that I liked, that I ripped from LimeWire or Kazaa, you know what I mean? So, fuck, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, dude.
And LimeWire video too, like starting to get into like the downloading of, one of these days we might do a show on like our opinions and thoughts on like piracy in the modern age and everything, because I think that'd be fascinating. But the I wanted to download videos from LimeWire so bad, and I was trying to download like full episodes of television shows and like music videos. And I remember that there was like one music video or like a movie trailer I wanted to download so many times, but every time I tried to download it on LimeWire, I would just get dirty stuff. Yeah. And I'd be like, oh shit, and then I'd have to like delete it and then like try again with another one, and then it's another dirty video. Delete. I had to be so careful with that stuff, man.
You guys are going to be disappointed in me. I had the Walmart version. I had Bear Share.
I was sure it was fun.
I used them all because you had to constantly switch because it was constantly getting shut down. Or Kazaa wouldn't be working one day, but LimeWire might, or Bear Share, or Pirate Bay.
I was
something.
an advocate for Bear Share. Yeah. Like all my friends were using LimeWire. I'm like, dude, wait till that shit goes down. Come to Bear Share, boy, because that shit never goes down, and it did. But I was like, this is the prime. I love the logo. I want that on a T-shirt.
Bear Share for you was what the Zune was for me.
Yeah,
I was the only person in the only person in the world that owned a Zune. I felt like
true. There was one kid on my bus that had a Zune.
Okay, so one other kid in loser. No, dude. Like, here's the thing. Like, Zune was awesome, but the hardware sucked.
I think I had
the
Zune
player
too.
for Zune was terrible, but the software is what is essentially just Spotify now. It's the same shit.
Yeah, the OS for Zune was kick ass. I remember
it was fucking awesome.
My buddy booting his up and going like, "Look at this," and it was like a really premium looking display. But then I was like, "Oh, that's super super cool." And then I'd go back to my iPod and I'd be like, "I'm fine with this."
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I do love it's the only Apple product I would ever use is a first generation iPod because that shit was awesome. It was bulky, heavy, it felt good. The scrolling through felt good.
When you scroll through and you press and hold the middle button and it adds it to a playlist.
Dude, if those things didn't all of a sudden just jump up in popularity due to like preservation to try and resell them, I would buy one of those in a heartbeat. Like the thick, fat 300 gigabyte ones, like they never died.
Yep.
The battery lasted forever. They were solid too. Like, I mean, unless you got it wet or really fucked it up, dropped it or something like that. But like, they're on sale on eBay for like $600.
Jesus, really?
Well,
yeah,
dude, fuck that. That's stupid.
It's insane
because you can't use them. They're unusable.
Yeah, you can still use them.
The music that's on it is on it.
Well, again,
no. You can still. There are workarounds to get.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
There are workarounds. You can't use iTunes, but like iMazing or any of those software downloads you can get. You can get like you could add new stuff.
Well, that brings up another point for me is I miss having a dedicated thing just for music because I had a 120 gigabyte Zune. I had like 20,000 songs on this little box. I can't do that on my fucking phone. No. I mean, I can stream, but that was like 20,000 songs that I curated by myself. I mean, I have playlists. You can build playlists on Spotify. You can do up to like 5,000 songs on a playlist. But I hit that almost immediately when I downloaded it because I love music in general. I know when people say like, "Oh, I like everything," I legitimately listen to everything. There's genres of music that I like less than others, but I can find something enjoyable in everything, and I think there's credit to everything. And so I want my playlist to be that. I want to hit shuffle and just be able to hear whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? So I miss having a dedicated MP3 player. It was the coolest shit ever, man. Because you could it was literally only for music. It was a digital music library that you could stick in your pocket, and it was all it did.
So some of the 4th and 5th generation ones are actually down to like $40. So I'm tempted to just buy one of these right now because this is the ones that I really liked, like the ones with like the
scroll.
Yeah, the ones that actually had the scroll ones because the original
that little click in your headphones.
Yeah. The first generation was like super bulky, like. It was like that was the one with like the physical buttons on the outside.
That thing's garbage.
Yeah, no thanks. That's $200 if you want that. Right now, so.
My buddy Daniel, when he bought his MacBook Pro, it came with a iPod, like the big iPod Classic. Yeah. And I remember like when we worked at Under Armour, he would be like, "Hey, we're working this overnight tonight. Go through my music and you can make like a playlist."
Yeah, dude.
So on my break, I would like eat my food and I would go through his music and just like scroll through songs like you guys are talking about and press and hold the center button and it would add it to a playlist and like that was like the best feeling.
Yeah, as cool as that is and as good of a feeling as that is and as nostalgic that makes me, at the same time, I'm so fucking glad I have Spotify.
Yeah,
Because
it's so
you know
much
what
easier.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like being able to go to my playlist and just being like, here's all the different things that I have, all the moods I want, or just shuffle everything and like.
Real quick, Tommy, before I get you, like I always tell you guys, the first truly adult decision I ever made in my life was decide to start paying for music. When I realized it wasn't worth
That's a
it.
good point.
It wasn't worth it for me to try to steal this music. I wanted to support the artists.
Yeah.
And that's what Zune was the first one to have a subscription per month to listen to everything. And so that was another thing that they trailblazed, and it's another reason why I loved Zune so much. $9.99 a month for Zune in like, I don't know, 10 maybe.
Wow.
But that's like an album a month, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, if you download an album a month, which I was doing, I did that. I downloaded a fucking 20 years worth of music on the first month. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's the first truly adult decision I ever made in my life, was to start paying for the music that I listened to. So thank you, Zune, for allowing me to be an adult.
Been addicted ever since.
Yep. What do you got, Tommy?
I don't know. We were talking about iPods and stuff, and this little unit makes me want to cry.
Which is that the first mini?
That's the mini. That thing, man, got me through a lot of shit, a lot of bad emotions. I can remember just putting that. I would be on a plane going to Florida to go see my dad, whatever, and listening to hardcore emo music on the way there to get myself mentally prepared for that whole ordeal. So yeah, I remember my iPad mini was my little sidekick.
Did any of you have like a shuffle?
Oh, God,
Had a
really?
shuffle.
Had a shuffle.
I could never get in. I was a very, very, very late adapter to like just listening to music on my phone. I don't think until I had my Galaxy S3 did I get rid of my dedicated MP3 player. So I mean, about less than 10 years ago, which is crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, I have a picture on my Instagram, maybe like 2013, 2014. I had something dedicated just for my iTunes.
Sorry, a Zune is $62.99 right now on eBay. In case you're curious.
The hard drive in those
There you
things,
go.
they burn out so quickly. I went through 6 Zunes in a matter of like 2 years. Fuck those things. The actual hard drive, the actual physical hardware was terrible. I mean, the software that came on the hardware was cool, but it fucking sucked.
I have some websites I want to talk about
Oh.
after we get done with iPods.
I think
I'm done.
I'm done. I mean, it really just led to my addiction to making playlists and how I love music. So
Yeah, like one quick little add-on. Like you guys, we would talk about making playlists. Like my big thing was just making a mix CD for the ladies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
girls.
Yeah. Hey, this is how I feel.
Yep.
And it was always like Rascal Flatts.
Rascal Flatts.
These days by Rascal Flats. Then you'll
Nah.
know how I feel about you.
It's just Live Like You Were Dying by
It
Tim
wasn't
McGraw.
Girls
10
by
tracks.
Beastie Boys. Girls to do the laundry, to do my dishes. Girls.
Girls.
Fun fact about MySpace that I discovered after you gave us the prompt. I did some researching. In 2006, more people visited MySpace than they did Google.
No way.
Yeah.
That's how quick the internet moves, dude. It's crazy to think about.
2006.
So that was 14 years ago.
I was a freshman in college.
I was a freshman, sophomore in high school.
7th or 8th grade. Who knows?
Yeah.
Zach?
Yeah, somewhere around
Yeah.
there. Around you.
Zach didn't know when he graduated high school.
I don't
guys.
remember.
Dude, he doesn't know his graduating class.
It's crazy.
Oh, like I would shout that for 12 years. Oh, 9?
Yeah.
Oh, 9?
Mine was 05, so it was dope. It was like the first 5 years of the decade.
Years?
We had 11.
How old are you, Zach?
I'm 25.
25.
So
I'll
he's
be, I'll be
13.
26 in a couple months.
Yours is probably 13.
12.
Yeah, no, I remember now because people have, ever since I couldn't remember, people tell me all the time.
Is it 13?
It's 2013. I graduated
Yeah.
in 2013.
Because Aaron's was 2011. I subtracted 2 years. Yeah, there we go.
Funny Junk. I saw that.
Funny Junk.
Into the World. That video.
Yes.
You remember that?
But I'm lit tired. We'll fire see ourselves.
We'll take a nap. Yahoo music videos.
Oh, yeah.
Those were dope. Had some sexual awakenings to Pussycat Dolls music videos.
Oh.
Nicolette Sheridan, dude. Yeah, dude.
Dude, she's like in her 40s, right?
Dude, you know what I was thinking about? Speaking of the yeah, that is crazy. because J-Lo's she's well into her 50s. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking about specifically the Pussycat Dolls the other day, and it was one of those manufactured bands, obviously to sell tickets to girls who wanted to be them and little boys who didn't know what was happening in their pants. But the Pussycat Dolls, that's just the euphemism for a sex doll. That's what they are. That's what the record. We can't call them blow up dolls because that's weird. So we'll call them Pussycat Dolls.
Oh fuck!
It's literally all because Nicola Sheridan's the only one that sang. The rest of them were just eye candy. And that's fucked up. I got really angry the other day when I thought about that. It's like this fucking record label literally called them sex dolls. That's what they were.
Yikes.
Well, they had a song called "Loosen Up My Buttons, Baby," so
way to bring it back.
It couldn't be a surprise. Photo Bucket.
Yeah, I
saw
that. Photo Bucket. Yeah,
Photo Bucket was dope because that was how you like put photos up on MySpace. MapQuest, that was big.
Yeah, MapQuest. Oh, dude,
my mom.
How'd you get anywhere before MapQuest?
Yeah, who knows, dude?
My mom's like, print out the MapQuest. We're going to Florida. We're going to see your Nana. Put in Nana's address. Print it out. Bring it on, and you're responsible for shouting out the directions.
I'm sure you guys talked about like CD-ROM video games and stuff, but like the backyard sports, I thought it was worth mentioning, like backyard baseball, stuff like that. Pete Wheeler was a baller in baseball and football. He was a good running back. Drafted him every time. Him and Pete Wheeler. Pablo Sanchez.
Pablo Sanchez.
But Pete Wheeler was my dude. He was always my running back.
That's awesome.
He was a dummy, but he could run straight.
That's all you need
when you told him to.
That's all you needed.
And then like early YouTube.
Yeah.
Like early YouTube was
crazy.
It was wild. Like I looked up like top 25 videos that increased nostalgia. One of them was Numa.
Numa, yeah. Numa, yeah.
Fucking T.I. used him in a song.
Yeah, he did. Chocolate Rain.
Salad Fingers, Evolution of Dance, the annoying video with the guys on the bunk beds. Leave Britney Alone, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Chris Crocker.
The wedding entrance to Forever by Chris Brown.
Yeah.
And then OK Go's music videos.
Yeah.
Those were dope. The thing like they did was like the
treadmills.
The treadmills, yeah.
They're still good. They're still making good videos. Like
That's
still
crazy.
Creative videos, and their music's not bad either these days.
I like OK Go.
Yeah, I still watch some of my favorite earlier YouTubers. Like, I still watch Cinemassacre.com with James Rolfe and the Angry Video Game Nerd. He's been doing that for, since 2006. So that's like the earliest YouTube could possibly get. So he's been doing that shit forever, and he's still good, and he's still a really funny writer. PewDiePie, he's been doing it for a long time, and he's seen his ups and downs, and he's it's funny to watch him now because me and PewDiePie is 30. He's in our age group, and to see him like where he was to where he is now, and he's kind of grown up, and he's kind of jaded, but he still wants to do it. He still has his fan base. He wants to like please, and it's cool to see somebody that was around. Jenna Marbles is another one. So she was another one of those people that was really in the just wild west of YouTube. I'll never forget like seeing her do her like, I don't even know what they were, but when she dressed up like a boy and acted like this is like essentially Boys Be Like, essentially that meme, but she was doing it in like 2008 2009.
You know, she got her start with Barstool.
I didn't. No way. Barstool wasn't around back then.
Yeah, they were.
Really?
If you watch the Barstool documentaries, which I have Barstool Gold, she got her start with Barstool.
Really? That must have
she
been
started
like early Barstool.
It was newspaper Barstool.
Yeah, okay.
And they were like throwing parties and stuff, trying to grow their brand. And Jenna Marbles was one of their first big people.
That's crazy.
And then she started a YouTube channel, and she kind of
she must have been like
out.
18, 19 then, because she's my age. Like she's legit. Like we're the same age. So.
That kind of makes sense because, like, I feel like when she first came out, like she had like the football pads on.
Yep.
She was kind of like a sports.
Yeah, now that I think about it, it might have been. Yeah, that's crazy. That's a small world, I suppose.
Worlds
it
collide.
blew my mind watching the documentary. But if you guys have any interest in Barstool whatsoever, it's worth watching. It'll make you like but hate Dave Portnoy. If you already have an opinion on him,
I already hate but like Dave Portnoy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
it about keeps you even kilter.
Yeah. That's crazy because if for those of you who don't know Jenna Marbles, she was, if you like whatever, like I don't know, she was like Lele Pons but good.
She was not Lele
Well,
Pons.
but yeah, she did funny shit.
Yeah,
Like,
I see what you're saying.
we don't like Lele Pons because we know she's not funny.
Yeah.
And all she talks about is being Latina.
Yeah.
But it was that same kind of shtick. She was a pretty girl who did funny, like tomboyish stuff.
Yeah.
And that was her thing. But she was one of the first to do it, and she kind of set that path for other, pretty or cute girls to go and do funny stuff on the internet. Like without Jenna Marbles, we wouldn't have like Miranda Sings and stuff like that. So it's cool to see. Like it sucks to see people doing stuff that I know that they just ripped off from earlier people, but it's also cool to know that I know the origins of that because I was around for that early internet. I was around for that early YouTube. So yeah. Zach, did you have any early YouTubers that you love?
Can't remember any names there. Yeah. No names on that one. Music videos was what YouTube was for in the early days for me. Like YouTube music videos and stuff. I wasn't following like any content creators.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like early.
There was a guy from Monroe, my high school, Live Lava Live. I don't know if you guys ever watched him.
Not familiar, no.
Yeah, he ended up making a bunch of money.
If you want to know,
yeah, I think I do remember seeing that.
Yeah,
go watch if you want to know what truly how crazy and weird and just kind of vile early YouTube was. Go watch some Filthy Frank. Go watch the Pink Guy videos. It makes no sense and it's weird and it's fucking insane, really. And those creators, it came out of like the Newgrounds content creators. Like they developed that sense of humor from Newgrounds and Homestar, and then they were able to act on screen and do that weird shit. And yeah, Filthy Frank is one of the prime examples of that. So early H3 videos, stuff like that. So
Red Letter Media was a big one for me too. Like following them in the early days. Like when I remember it got past it because me and my best friend Paul were huge into Star Wars, and I don't remember all the prequels coming out like vividly. Like I vaguely remember Phantom Menace. But I remember there was that YouTube video that people were talking about, like the Star Wars nerds at school were talking about, oh, have you seen the guy that makes fun of Star Wars on YouTube? And it's like Mr. Plinkett's hour and 45-minute long Phantom Menace review, and I remember watching that and just crying laughing. So that was definitely an early, because they're still around making content, and so that was definitely an early content creator.
Yeah,
that jogged my memory.
Yeah,
I always loved the Chocolate Rain videos.
Yeah, Chocolate Rain. I think a lot of YouTube, because College Humor was big for me too. RIP College Humor. They just fired almost their entire staff, and it doesn't really exist anymore. And that was very recent. But College Humor,
in the beginning,
man, that
really
shit was
good.
funny. They were an early blog site. It was essentially what Barstool is now. But it was a bunch of college kids that just got together and made funny shit, and they had their own web domain, and they had their own website, so they could do whatever the fuck they wanted to do, and it was cool. It was, again, I was in college when College Humor was popular, so it was like that was targeted to me. So I have very fond memories of it, and a lot of my favorite, like a lot of people that I listen to in podcasts now and stuff like that I still follow a lot of my own favorite like College Humor people. Do you guys remember Funny or Die?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure Will Ferrell started Funny or Die, and it was a cool concept because they would post videos and you could vote. Was it funny or should it die? Mm-hmm. And if it got below a lower enough rating on die, they would delete the video forever. Mm-hmm. So, which was a cool concept. It was essentially like Hot or Not or whatever for videos. And I think they brought it back in like a commercial or something like that. But Pearl the Landlord, which was Will Ferrell's little daughter,
dude. She's so
I want my money. You need to relax.
That's please. If anybody gets to this point in the podcast, listen or watch that freaking video.
Yeah.
What's it called?
It's called Pearl the Landlord.
Pearl the Landlord.
It's this cute little.
It's Will Ferrell's
4-year-old
daughter.
And she's a little blonde girl, and she's like, "I want my money." He's like, "It's not looking good this week." She's like, "I'll kick you out."
Yeah.
She basically kicks him
I'll
out.
throw you on.
Did between the two ferns is Funny or Die, right?
Yeah, that was a Funny or Die thing with Zach Galifianakis. Yep.
I love that
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, Pearl the Landlord is fucking awesome.
She's so funny.
Yeah, and that was peak. Like when I was like Will Ferrell was the funniest dude I've ever seen in my life. He was awesome in SNL, and then he made Funny or Die, and I watched Pearl the Landlord, and man, is it funny!
Oh, dude. I think they do a couple more with her later on. And they're so funny.
Right. Yeah, please watch Pearl the Landlord because that is
Will Ferrell looking young as fuck.
Yeah, he looks,
and
he's got like an afro.
Yeah, True white guy fro.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
But yeah, guys, what
a trip down memory lane.
We touched on a lot of the stuff I wanted to. Really, it was the main things for me were messaging, because I have a lot of good memories with it, and then, the file sharing services. Because,
dude.
And really, the crux of this episode for me is I live in this bubble of nostalgia. It makes me comfortable. I like talking about it with people that experience it with me, because there's never going to be a generation that experiences to be old enough to experience a time before the internet and a time after the internet. We are in a very specific 10-year age group where we can remember that. And it's such a wild difference, because we went from not having went from Encyclopedia Britannica being the only way to look up any relevant and like good information to clicking a mouse and having that entire thing available to you whenever you wanted to. And it's nuts to think about that. It's really, if you never experienced a time before the internet, I can't even explain it to you how different it was. Mm-hmm. And I say we're the only people that remember. We're the only people that were going to be kids, so we're going to have that nostalgia for it. So,
you're right.
And we like a lot of that content was made for our age group at that time too. So, yeah, dude, I just have such fond memories of it, and it really, truly shaped who I am today. Mm-hmm. It shaped my dry sense of humor.
Yeah.
It shaped the way even to the way I speak, like the pace with which I speak in my everyday life. It's funny because I listen to my older brother speak, and the way he tells jokes like Strong Bad. He speaks the same way Strong Bad does, and he delivers jokes in that perfect timing, that perfect rhythm, with that perfect sarcasm, and it's just so funny to listen to. So yeah, guys, thanks for taking this trip with me. I really enjoy talking about this shit, especially with people that were there with me. So
yeah, it was fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude, that was a blast.
Let's
go surf the web.
Yeah, let's go surf the web, guys. While we're on that topic, and don't forget to follow us on social medias at Dollar Beer Pod on Twitter, Dollar Beer Night on Insta, email dollarbeernightshow@gmail, at dollarbeernight.com if you need a portal to listen to us through if you're not really sure how to listen to podcasts for some reason, you dork. But yeah, guys, please follow us. I'm really enjoying running the social media and getting all these comments. Shout out Cody Garrett for always responding to us on social media. Thank you for being supportive. Thank you for everybody that's come up and told us that the pod is great. Again, we shouted out Donovan earlier, but yeah, he's been so supportive of us when he sees us out, and it's really cool to know that what you're doing and something we like to do, like other people like listening to it and experiencing it with us. So please let us know how you feel and interact with us, because we're going to get better at it. And yeah, guys, thanks for listening.
Yep. So, and ratings, reviews too. If you're on your podcast service of your choice and you feel like giving a 5-star review or a subscribe or a recommendation, the only way that we're going to grow and continue to grow and get more entertaining and hopefully better for you guys is if you share it and let other people know about it too.
Yep. Last order of business. Dill, you're up next. Do you want to share the podcast topic?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's hear it, buddy.
Yes. It's one word, and it's very relevant to what happened.
Sex.
It's relevant?
It's relevant. It's dreams.
Oh.
We're going to talk dreams.
Okay.
Cool. It's going to be wild.
Yeah.
Dude.
Big Cat won't be listening to this one.
No.
Safe to say. But no, I think that's a great topic. Seriously.
We're going to get into dreams. I'm going to have a lot of good info. It's not going to just be everyone telling a wild dream they've had. It's going to be some good stuff. So
cool. I will do no prior research.
I have a dream book. I'll bring it in if you want.
Fucking bring it in.
Yeah.
I want you guys to bring in some cool stuff about some dreams you've had, because as you know, recently I woke up with a wild dream, so it's kind of inspired me. So
we just bring in nothing and we're like, these are my dreams.
Bring in your dreams.
Dude, I used to keep a dream journal because I wanted to get really good at I don't know, I'll save it for
the pod.
Yeah, come on, man. We're going to have another 2-hour pod next week. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Love you.
You can find me at Zach Rotello on Twitter and social media. If anybody wants to plug, I want to
Tommy,
plug.
what do you got to plug?
Ends.
Average Torso Toys. Oh, wait, no, I'm not Toys anymore. I dropped that shit.
Average Torso.
Yep. And Tough Luck coming soon. Sticker packs coming soon.
Yep.
Young Diesel 16 on Instagram.
No way. Did you change your thing?
No, Diesel's got his own Instagram.
Diesel has an Insta?
Yeah.
I'll go follow it.
No fucking
Young Diesel.
Why have
16.
we not known about this? I have no idea.
Because I forgot the login and Emily's the only one that posts. So, Young Diesel 16.
And I'm at KCarter79. I promise you guys I won't talk about poop next episode.
Did you talk about poop this episode?
Yeah, I sure did.
When?
The listen back, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's very early. You'll see. You'll hear it. It's one of the first things I talk about.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I do remember this now. Man, we're getting nostalgic for this own podcast.
I will do my best to not mention poop or fecal matter in any way,
I like
shape,
when
or
you
form
talk about poop.
outside of saying shit. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody.